Womadelade's 5AA.
Mostly sunny and 24 today with the 6 o'clock news. I'm Mel Usher. Engineers and SES personnel will head to the Riverland today to inspect levees in the area. Rising floodwaters interstate are expected to flow downstream in early December, with water levels not seen for almost 50 years. Premier Peter Malinauskas is urging the Riverland community and visitors to be prepared but not alarmed.
The 120 gigalitre forecast could be revised upwards into the future because we know there is more rain to come.
Hackers are holding health insurer Medibank to ransom, threatening to sell the data of its most influential customers if a fee is not paid. Customer information includes sensitive health conditions and credit card details. The company is working quickly to verify the claims. An independent review has found Australia's COVID-19 response failed the most vulnerable. Katie Fuller explains.
The Fault Lines report has found the federal and state governments failed to strike a balance between protecting public health and imposing long-term costs on education, mental health, jobs and the economy. It found school children and older Australians were the most disadvantaged. School closures have been deemed more drawn out than necessary and aged care residents considered not adequately protected. The review has been informed by 200 health experts, public servants, epidemiologists and more.
In SA, mandatory COVID vaccinations for health and aged care workers are set to be scrapped. Businesses will also be able to choose to mandate the vaccine for workers if they want to. 1.5 million homes and businesses across the country will have better access to the NBN by 2025. Michael Packey has more.
The previous coalition government had started to upgrade national broadband services, mainly driven by COVID-19, which saw more people learning and working from home. Labor says it'll use Tuesday's budget to accelerate the NBN upgrades over the next 3 years. 1.5 million homes and businesses in outer suburbs and regional areas are expected to benefit. The federal government will contribute $2.4 billion towards the project, which is also expected to create thousands of jobs.
More artists have been announced for Womad 2023. Among those joining the lineup will be Billy Bragg, Yusu N'Dour and the Proclaimers. Womad will be held March 10 to 13th at Botanic Park. Now to 5AA Sport.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty. 10 years capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi.
And he just walked 500 miles to be here. It's good morning, Tom Wren.
It's always great to get here eventually though, Mel. Let's start with some footy. Ross Lyon is reportedly set to be confirmed as St Kilda's coach by the end of the week. It's after he met the club's board yesterday following meetings with Saints officials on both Monday and Tuesday. Well, Australian backup wicketkeeper Josh Inglis has been taken to hospital after a freak accident on a golf course just days before their T20 World Cup campaign begins. He was playing around when his club snapped and sliced open his hand. Meantime, a couple of T20 games on yesterday with Ireland 6-wicket winners against Scotland, while the West Indies took care of Zimbabwe by 31 runs. And the Redbacks will turn their attention to Friday's one-dayer against Tasmania after a disappointing 7-wicket loss to the Tigers in their Shield clash, which finished yesterday. To netball, and the Australian Diamonds have hit back and are now down 2-1 against the Silver Ferns in netball's Constellation Cup. That's after winning Game 3 in Melbourne 62-47. Captain Liz Watson, proud her side bounced back after their lacklustre showing across the ditch in the opening 2 matches.
Those games wasn't us, and it's disappointing to be able to get out there and not play our style, but I think with the intent that we had, we wanted to score more than 60 goals, and we did that, so many little wins. It was awesome.
Australia can seal the series on the Gold Coast on Sunday with victory. Well, plenty of EPL action on this morning. Liverpool is currently 1-0 up against West Ham heading into the second half. Manchester United and Tottenham, it's about 20 minutes in there. It is still 0-0. And in the NBL tonight, Melbourne United host Cairns and South East Melbourne Phoenix will take on the New Zealand Breakers. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast, mostly sunny, 24 today, partly cloudy tomorrow, 22. Saturday, a shower or 2 and 21. And Sunday, showers and 20. Right now, it's 13 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
I've got the pregnant wife at home, you know, who wasn't able to sleep through it.
Yeah. Yes. Now, we are rolling along nicely here.
Yeah, Lucy just picked up.
You just said something pretty massive.
Yeah, we've got a little girl on the way in October.
Mate! Congratulations,
Thank you.
Will.
You and I are going to have something in common. Well, something more in common. Thank you,
That's
mate.
some awesome unscripted radio right there.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Good morning to you. Exciting news. It is not David and Will today. It is Lucy and David. David and Lucy. Morning, David.
Hello, Luce. How are you?
Oh, a little bit nervous to be honest.
You're probably not as nervous as Will and Alison are right now, but no.
That's right.
Pretty amazing start to the day.
We should start off, the baby hasn't been born yet.
No.
But they are at the hospital. I had a text at 3:53 this morning. I was brushing my teeth, about to get in the car and come in, and the old phone went off, and I thought, geez, the early text, that means something.
The early text, generally, it's not a good thing in radio, is it? Like, normally
No.
it means... And it happens very, very, very rarely.
Yeah, that's right.
That one of us is sick.
The only ones I've ever had has been, I'm sick and I can't come in.
Yeah, or sometimes it's because there's some massive news story that we all need to be alerted to. Although, if I'm honest, generally Will's all over it because he's much more vigilant and professional and prepared than I am. But I remember you texted me about, 5 weeks ago, early, saying the Queen has died overnight, just so I was a full bottle across that, knew that I should actually,
Well, this is on
Make
par,
it on
on
time.
par with the early text, the Queen's tragic passing and Will's baby news.
I got to say, Lise, given that Will is my partner and he's about to have a baby, I sort of feel like I should spend the next sort of, 6 to 8 or however many hours it is just pacing around outside chain smoking.
Oh, pacing. That's something you and I can have in common. As soon as I got the text, I started pacing laps of my bedroom for about 2 minutes, and I thought, heck, I better get in there.
A cynic might say, how is that different from any other program?
Yeah, that's right.
But,
any other morning.
I'm sure that as they are currently in the birthing suite, that the 5AA breakfast show is not on their playlist. Normally, when you go to these prenatal classes, there's discussion around what's your CD going to be? Well, it's not CDs anymore, as I found out when we did the road trip.
Spotify playlist.
Yeah, what's your birthing playlist? And a lot of people put quite a bit of effort into that. Enya, sort of calming songs.
Calming, like when you go for a massage at Endota and it's all very, rainforesty or waves lapping along the beach.
Yeah, that's right. All that sort of atmospheric music.
They might want to see how we're going 3 minutes in.
Well, that's right. Anyway, guys, if on the very off chance you are listening to the 5AA Breakfast Show, we wish you all the very best of luck.
Yes.
And every single one of our listeners, I'm sure, would be feeling exactly the same way. I got to say, when you texted me this morning, Liz, to pass on the news, my immediate reaction, and I've been through this 4 times as a guy, was there for all 4 births of my kids, obviously. I actually had a little pang of, oh, wow. Like, I felt the urgency that you get when, as the partner, you're told. But, you've got all this ahead of you.
I think, well, that's the excitement, isn't it? You work with someone so closely at strange hours of the day. It's like it's a real bond. And
it is.
Oh,
yeah.
I've been excited ever since, well, they told us that they were 21 weeks. So the past 19 weeks, I've been just... seemingly obsessed with Will's unborn child. But that's okay. It does, though. I mean, for our baby guesses nearest to the pin, we've got a few that are in the realm of today. Today's October the 20th. There we go. So today, Steve in Adelaide, your guess was 10:20 a.m. Greg in West Croydon, 11:45 a.m. Jane in Edwardstown, 4:17 p.m.
Now, I reckon Jane in Edwardstown is looking pretty good for 4:17 p.m.
Yeah, we'll wait and see because Will didn't give me any indication of how things were tracking.
Well, of course, yeah. You don't know how long you've been at the hospital.
So we don't know anything. And I've been trying to guess a name every day for the past 19 weeks. So I'm eagerly awaiting the name.
I've gone with a really long shot Consuela, which is a lovely Latin American name. If I get that, I've got about 2,000 to 1 on it on centre bet.
Consuela. Maybe that's the middle name. Now, Marlene, we've got you on the line. Morning, Marlene.
Oh, good morning. Just to hear the news, but to let you know, I'm the mum of your Alberton correspondent.
Oh, Dave.
And it's his birthday today.
Oh, you're kidding.
Meant to be. Well, Dave in Alberton, happy birthday.
And wouldn't that be lovely to share it with a Port supporter? He'd love that.
It certainly would. We could bring the two warring cultures together. So, Marlene, was Dave your first child, your only child? What's the story?
No, second. Yeah, he was born 3:05 in the afternoon. So, look, when I heard it, I thought, I've got to ring up and tell you this.
Oh, that's terrific.
Imagine that.
Oh, I thought it was wonderful.
So your first child was a boy or a girl? Or did Dave got an older brother or sister? Boy.
Yeah, he's got an older brother, yeah.
And you're all Port tragics, aren't you, Marlene?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's in the blood. It's part of the blood.
Yeah. No.
Oh, that is wonderful, and I hope everything goes well. And it's,
sure it will.
Yeah. Yeah, so no, I had to ring when I heard that. I thought, this is amazing.
Oh, good on you, Marlene. Thanks so much for calling.
No worries.
Joint birthday.
Bye.
Thanks, Marlene. Yeah, it would be a very FIVEAA birth date, wouldn't it? If baby girl Goodings shared Dave from Alberton's birthday.
That's right.
We do got to give. Gosh, look at me. My grandma, Will would not be impressed with my grandma there. We do need to give Roz in Aberfoyle Park a birthday shout out. Her birthday's tomorrow. She's turning 70. So her due date guess was 3:10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So who knows? I hope for Alison's sake it's not a 24-hour labour. But if it gets to that point, Roz, on her 70th tomorrow, might be sharing it with Will's daughter.
Yeah, there's about 6 guesses tomorrow. Scott from Glallunga, John from Woodcroft, Teen from Mitchell Park. But look, we're not... I'm sure you understand when we say, folks, that we're not barracking for any of you. And we're sure that it will all unfold today. But... yeah, it is a weird thing, and as a guy, it's just one of those things that makes you look at your partner and go, I'm in total awe of you that you did this. It is an incredible thing, and it's funny, one of my dad's biggest regrets, one of his only regrets, because he's had a good, happy life, but he says he always wishes that he was there for my birth and my sister's birth. Because back then, in the late 60s, when I was born, and the early 70s, if the father put his hand up and said, I'd like to go along to the labour, it was seen as totally inappropriate. In fact, you're probably regarded as a bit of a weirdo.
Right.
If you wanted
how
to do
times have changed.
Yeah. That's why I'm sure a lot of our older listeners would back us in. I'd be stunned if there's any man over 70 listening to this program, maybe 80, listening to this program, who attended the birth of their child. And culturally, in fact, Will was talking the other day about one of his mates who's from the subcontinent, and he said that it's really frowned upon, or sort of seen as like totally inappropriate and odd that a man would ever do that. Whereas now in Australia, it's become de rigueur.
You need your support partner, whoever that may be.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
Well, I guess we should run through the show that Will is now not a part of. I had it all planned for Will, but it's...
The I Love Lucy and Pembo show, as it's going to be known for the next 2 weeks.
Might be a bit self-indulgent for the next fortnight, but we shall see. We've got the US Cross with Tim Lester from Channel 7. It is Smeg hour today. We've got a lovely Smeg appliance to give away. Matt Abraham. And we're crossing to Monato Safari Park. I run the show and I love animals, so therefore about once a week there's going to be an animal
We love
interview.
that you love animals too, Luce. I always like a good animal story.
That's right.
Good fun.
That's right. Now remember, you can tune in on the Foodland Facebook and YouTube live stream. You can text in on the Automasters text line 044808 1395. It is 6:15 and we'll be back with more news headlines after this.
Ladies, is the need to wee all the time making your life a misery? Caruso's Wee Less to the rescue. Caruso's Wee Less relieves the annoying and inconvenient feeling that you need to go to the bathroom too often and supports bladder health and function. So if your need to wee all the time is getting in the way of enjoying life, try Caruso's Wee Less today. Caruso's Wee Less is made in Australia, comes with a money-back guarantee and is available from leading pharmacies and health food stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
For over 38 years, Steinborner has been well worth the trip. With over 400 used cars to choose from, you're sure to find the car you're looking for. Steinborner is your first choice for new Hyundai and Mitsubishi in the Barossa, and your first choice for Ford in Clare. And don't forget, you can always click through the collection of vehicles online at steinborner.com.au. Great local deals on great local cars from your locals. Steinborner Automotive. Still well worth the trip, or well worth the click.
Get a read on fuel hikes, rate spikes and red carpet delights. Get a read on today with The Advertiser and enjoy full digital access for only $1 a week for the first 12 weeks. Minimum cost $4. Search The Advertiser offer today. Conditions apply.
With Phil Hoffman Travel and Colette, the world is on sale. It's time to tick off your bucket list. From Antarctica to Africa, the Middle East to South America, Europe and everywhere in between. You can save up to 15% in 2023. Save $614 per person on a popular 8-night tour around Ireland from $3,485 per person. Hurry, offer ends 21st of October. Visit Phil Hoffman Travel, pht.com.au.
Sometimes all it takes is a little switch.
I was worried about the care Mum was getting at home. Different people in and out, often late, no one to speak to. So we made the switch to Right at Home, and I could see the difference straight away. Mum's happy and settled, she sees the same familiar faces, and she feels safe and secure.
Don't put up with poor service. Make the switch and see the difference for yourself. Right at Home, Australia's leading in-home care provider. Visit rightathome.com.au or call 8318 7926.
Kate Collins and Brendan Raglas, the faces you know and the team you can trust. 9 News, made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
Good morning to you, Lucy and David. This morning, Will's off in the hospital waiting for his wife to have a child, but we'll carry on as normal, getting into the news headlines this morning, starting, of course, with the floods. A team of flood specialists will arrive in the Riverland today. Floodwaters interstate are expected to flow through to SA, starting now-ish, but carrying right through till December. It is predicted that up to 120 gigalitres per day will stream down the River Murray. SES Chief Chris Beattie says water levees in the area will be inspected.
This is about identifying those areas of concern and shoring them up with appropriate additional fill with engineering support.
I tell you what, it's a weird thing to think, like, you know, the way the water's hit in the east, it's just come out of the blue. And, you know, a lot of these towns, they think they're through it, then suddenly it starts again when you get the rain. But it's a different sensation for us in SA, downriver, because you can sort of see the freight train coming. And while no one's saying it's going to be as bad as the huge flood of 1954, there does now seem to be a lot of people who aren't catastrophists, to use that great word from our friend at Samry.
Yoop.
Yeah, Yoop. Who are in a quite sort of, you know, level-headed way, saying, well, there is actually a chance it could be as big as 73, 74, 75, because all three of those years were flood years. I was reading up about it, looking at the picture of the tree in Mannum and the other tree in Loxton, where the water level in Mannum in 1954 got to 5.01 metres. And you think about, like, all those pubs on the main street, like the Pretoria and that, where they've got the back decks at the moment, where there's, like, little bars and there's a lawned area that slopes down to the river. It's a beautiful setting. But that entire pub was underwater, or the cellar and the ground floor, after that flood, was underwater for 3 months.
It's tough to imagine when you think of, you know, I'm a very lofty (1.58 m).
Yeah, yeah.
5'2", if you will.
Put it in your own context.
Put it in your own height context. It's crazy.
Well,
isn't
that's
it,
like three of me standing on top of each other. It's crazy.
It's where the water's at.
Yeah, amazing.
The Ausasia Festival opens tonight here in the city. This year's program features more than 500 artists across 50 ticketed and free events. The event does run until November the 6th. Artistic director Annette Chunwa says they're looking forward to welcoming back crowds.
We're aiming to reach as many people as possible, from families through to people who are after some really edgy experimental artwork, through to just people who love to experience something different.
You're going to head down for some dumplings?
You know, I actually went to that years ago. I can't remember when it was. It might have been after one of the first events that was held after COVID. But there were so many people there we couldn't get in. It was just insane.
It's a great event, though.
Yeah, it's got a really good reputation.
Given the nice weather that we're having.
Annette Chunwa, she was a cult figure for people of my generation with her music programs. Eat Carpet, she was on. But yeah, excellent taste in music, Annette.
To a story out of Melbourne that is backdating to July, but it's only just come out, and I hope we don't have this instance here. A mobile traffic camera operator was egged.
You're kidding?
In July. The operator was parked on a street and was then forced to run away from two men as they started egging him. They kept their faces totally hidden, and now Victoria Police, several months on, are asking for witnesses and any kind of dash cam footage.
It's weird that it's taken them so long to release it. I would have thought they'd be straight onto that, rather than waiting,
Egging.
August, September, October, three and a half months. They probably wouldn't have been a sworn officer. They probably would have been one of those, like, what are they called? Like the traffic enforcement branch type cars that you see.
Yeah, traffic operation type folks.
Not that it makes any difference. Bloody idiots.
I know. And more than 600 people have died in floods, but in Nigeria, 82,000 homes have been destroyed. More than 1.3 million people have been displaced by the disaster. It's being blamed on unusual rainfalls and the release of excess water from a dam in neighbouring Cameroon.
We're getting a stack of texts on the old Automasters text line here in relation to Will. Shall I rip into some of them?
Rip them out.
More newsy goodness for us.
No, that's right. Will's child, so far unborn, that we know is definitely the news of the day.
People are into it. Look, quite a few people talking about the point I made about how in the past dads weren't at the birth, or if they were, it was a special and unique thing. Tanya W. from Walkerville says, it was definitely unusual for fathers to be in the labour ward years ago. I'm the eldest of 4 children. I was born in 1963 at Tailem Bend Hospital. My father insisted that he wanted to be with Mum, and the doctor agreed. He was with Mum for all 4 births, and he was always grateful to the beautiful doctors. And one who's saying, my father-in-law, who's 85, he got to see my brother-in-law's birth 53 years ago, as he was born on Christmas Eve in the lift at the hospital.
Well, they got to the hospital.
That's one way to do it.
That's the main thing.
And Chris Jarmer, our good mate there from Jarmer's, will be out soon wanting a schnitzel, I'd imagine, Chris. Says, Will, you picked a good day because it's International Chef's Day today. Big shout out to all the chefs out there. Absolutely, chefs, where we'd be without them.
There you go.
And Rob's offered a random guess that the baby will be called Wilma.
Wilhelmina, if you will. 24, mostly sunny today. 22, partly cloudy tomorrow. Tom Wren is in the studio for sport. Let me find my credit sheet here. There we go. 10-year warranty and 10-year cap price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi. Nailsworth and Elizabeth Rennie, good morning to you.
Morning, Lucy. Like you've been doing it for 10 years, doing a great job.
Pro.
Yeah, just
pro.
dominating. So, and congratulations to Will. Hopefully everything goes well. I'm sure it's sounding great. So that is great news to wake up to this morning.
Certainly is.
For all the listeners.
How many times have you been through this time?
Twice for me personally. Yeah. So it's always a special occasion.
You just feel like a totally useless bystander, really, don't you?
You do.
Guy?
Yeah, big time. And then it's amazing.
Dictionary definition male uselessness. Although you're there in a support role.
Yeah.
Beyond that, you don't bring much to the party, do you?
And many would argue that I haven't brought much since, to be honest. So,
don't admit that on air, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Funny, I get a bit of that at home too.
Yeah. What about this? Speaking of, nature and things coming full circle, Ross Lyon, it appears as though it is going to be, Lucy, that he will return to the place that he left in such acrimonious circumstances. I remember at the time, Gerard Whateley, who I don't think Ross Lyon still talks to, called it duplicitous, deceitful, and one of the most, bastardry acts when he walked out on St Kilda with a year to run his contract and exercised a clause in his contract to go to Fremantle. And 12 years on, he's going to return. It's extraordinary that turn of events has happened in the last
So was
week
Lyon
or two.
coach of St Kilda when they were going well?
He was, yeah. So when they made the grand final in 2009, went down
When
to
they
Geelong.
lost to Geelong, yeah.
And then there was that famous toe poke from Gary Ablett. The
Oh,
goal
yeah.
went down. Tom Hawkins or Chapman kicked the goal, I think. And then the following year, they, of course, had the Stephen Milne bounce of the ball. That was Ross Lyon both years. So
The draw, yeah.
they had some incredible success with Ross Lyon. Didn't quite get there, and they were desperately unlucky in both of those years.
So it's come back, Ross, all is forgiven.
But all is forgiven. So I'll be fascinated how Saints fans welcome him back. But it's bizarre, isn't it? We sort of seem to be getting more coaches getting a second chance, or, Brett Ratton, although he's now gone again. Michael Voss has got another chance. We've taken a long time to get to that point, but Ross Lyon, and we've seen it in the past, I suppose, with, former coaches going back for a second time. It doesn't often happen, but I wonder how it will work at St Kilda. They seem to me, from the outside, to be an absolute rabble.
Yeah, that club's...
They're a mess right now.
A long and ignoble history of off-field problems at the management level. Well, when Blighty was there, and that bloke who, by his own admission, I always think people who describe themselves as functioning alcoholics are kidding themselves. Rod Buttus, the then president, where Blighty left the club under a huge cloud. He said, stuff this for a joke. But so much of it was that Buttus guy, and he's spoken openly, to his credit, he's spoken openly about how he was basically, off his chops the entire time he was St Kilda president. Just seemed to be such a sort of big fish in a small bowl, sort of Melbourne, believe your own BS type guy. And I know he's not at the club anymore, but yeah, at the management level, they do have a long history of, issues.
The one thing he will bring is a hard edge, and perhaps that's what the Saints need. He's a no-nonsense, doesn't take any prisoners, and if he doesn't like the way things are being run, the players, and I'm sure he will know very quickly how he feels. So he will bring that, and that's intriguing because the game's moved even in the last 5 years, and the way people like to be talked to, as we know, is very different to how it was even 5-10 years ago. So it's going to be a fascinating, turn of events.
Just ask David Noble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Spot on. So we'll see how he goes, but yeah, it looks like that'll happen in the next couple of days.
Thank goodness we've got you for sport, Rennie, because I tell you what, I watch it, but I'm by no means an expert at it. Thank you,
No,
Rennie.
great stuff, Lucy. Good to have you hosting.
The daily tennis segment if Luce gets away.
I have booked in a tennis interview next Monday.
Excellent.
Just, while we're on air, do what we can.
Well, it's a big time of, big couple of months coming up for the
You've got all this authority, Luce. There's no point not abusing it.
Exactly.
But I have authority when I'm producing you guys as well, I would have thought.
Yeah, well, kind of, but you don't actually... we're still in front of the microphone.
Yeah.
That is...
So
not anymore.
You've got ultimate authority.
That is
unquestionable authority.
That is true. More coming up after the 6:30 news.
Wella.
Hoyt's Herbs and Spices is a 100% Australian family-owned company. Hoyt's products you see in your aisle are packed and processed in Australia. You support local Australian manufacturing and Hoyt supports Aussie jobs. Always. That thought alone leaves a good taste in your mouth. And we haven't even opened the herbs and spices yet. Hoyt's changes the mood of food. In your spice aisle now at Coles, Woolworths and good independent supermarkets.
Fill those empties with Hoyt's spices, yeah.
Moving into a retirement village can be a big adjustment and buying a unit can be prohibitive. So here's an alternative, renting. At Riverbank Village in the heart of Mount Barker, they offer quality rental accommodation for seniors. That's right, rental accommodation. No entry or exit fees and no hidden costs. Just one fortnightly payment, which includes 3 meals daily, weekly linen service, reverse cycle aircon and social club. Secure, safe, friendly and close to shops. To find out more, go to riverbankvillage.com.au or call 8391 0449.
The Aussie summer is sneaking up on us, and if you're not daydreaming about hitting the road yet, a trip to the Zenith Caravans showroom should do the trick.
Will it ever will? I mean, Lucy, Zenith means when something's at its peak, and if you've got one of these caravans latched onto your car, Lucy, it'd be hard not to feel like you're living your peak.
Don't spend your summer waiting. They've got both family and couples caravans ready for immediate delivery, so you could basically visit their showroom, then drive straight off and hit the road for your next adventure.
That's right. Jump in the Zenith Caravan with your new baby and hit the road. Plus, these fantastic caravans, they're Aussie built, so you know they're cut out for the Aussie weather, and they'll get you wherever you want to go.
So see the sights and create lasting memories. Visit the Zenith Caravans team at 817 North East Road, Valley View, or at the 4-Wheel Drive Adventure Show this weekend.
Bonus local delivery on selected Australian-made mattresses at Harvey Norman. Spend over $999. King Coil by AH Beard, Sleepmaker and CD Posturepedic. Plus 60 months interest-free, no deposit finance from Latitude with 60 approximately equal monthly payments and receive a bonus gift card up to $1,000. Finance only available if you have or are approved for a participating Latitude credit card. Minimum financed amount $1,000. See T's and C's. Interest applies for non-compliance. Fees and product exclusions apply. In-store purchases only. Bonus local delivery on selected Australian-made mattresses at Harvey Norman.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly sunny and 24 today with the 6:30 news. I'm Mel Usher. A team of flood specialists will arrive in the Riverland today with floodwaters interstate expected to flow through to SA from early December. It's predicted up to 120 gigalitres a day will flow down the Murray. SES Chief Chris Beattie says levees in the area will be inspected.
This is about identifying those areas of concern and shoring them up with appropriate additional fill with engineering support.
An independent review of Australia's response to the COVID pandemic has found it failed the most vulnerable. The Fault Lines review has been led by a former public servant. It's urging governments to learn from their mistakes and overhaul planning. It found ill-conceived policies and excessive use of lockdowns failed to protect the old, disregarded the young, and abandoned some of the nation's most disadvantaged communities. Hackers are threatening to sell data from Medibank Private, including sensitive health conditions and credit card details, unless the insurer pays a ransom. The group claims to have stolen 200 gigabytes of sensitive information. The authenticity of the threat has not been verified, but Medibank says it's taking the threat seriously. An Australian man has reportedly been found dead after going missing in Spain. Queensland Rugby League player Liam Hampson had been holidaying in Europe with friends. They posted to social media asking for help to find him. Barcelona police have told Seven they have found a body in a nightclub believed to be that of the 24-year-old. Vladimir Putin has declared martial law in Russian-occupied areas of Ukraine as tens of thousands are ordered to evacuate. Brett McLeod reports.
In the key region of Kherson, residents received text messages warning them of the urgent need to evacuate. The Kremlin says 60,000 people will be moved over 6 days. Kherson is the largest city seized by Russia during the invasion. Its forces have been driven back by 20 to 30 kilometres during Ukrainian advances in recent weeks. Ukraine has dismissed the evacuation order as a propaganda show, amounting to a forced deportation of civilians.
The Duchess of Sussex has opened up to Hollywood Bible Variety about life as a mother of 2 in 2022. Meghan spoke to the magazine both before and after the Queen's death. She talks about playing Wordle, taking Zoom meetings at home, why she's done with acting, and shared her day-to-day outlook.
Everything is temporary. To really just enjoy what time we have here, what we're doing with that time, and at least open the door for really meaningful conversation. Because I think once you turn meaningful conversation into action, game changer.
And a photo of a British man's Indian dinner has gone viral. His chicken korma looks like the face of former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. He says the yellow rice resembles Johnson's messy hair. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
10-year warranty and 10-year capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
It's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Reports are growing stronger that Ross Lyon will be St Kilda's new coach by the end of the week. Meantime, Hawthorn has requested to play arch rivals Essendon in round 1 next season to help celebrate its 40-year premiership reunion. Well, South Australia suffered a disappointing 7-wicket loss against Tasmania in its Sheffield Shield clash at Adelaide Oval. The Redbacks' next Shield clash against New South Wales next week. To soccer, Adelaide United coach Carl Viet says his side is wary of Sydney FC ahead of their clash against the Sky Blues on Sunday. Viet telling Rowie Sydney is a very different side this season.
They've come to be a little bit more attacking. They've got 2 white players that are very good in Lolly and Max. 2 foreign players that they've brought in, so we'll have to be very mindful of those 2 players.
In the English Premier League, meantime, Liverpool is 1-0 up against West Ham with about 15 minutes to play. Newcastle also 1-0 up over Everton. Southampton also 1-0 to the good against Bournemouth, while there's no goals in the clash between Brentford and Chelsea, while it's also 0-0 between Manchester United and Tottenham at half-time. And the Major League Baseball playoffs continue today in the US. It's Game 1 of the American League Championship Series with the New York Yankees taking on the Houston Astros, while it will be Game 2 of the National League Championship Series, which will see the Philadelphia Phillies up against the San Diego Padres. The Phillies lead that series 1-0 after a 2-0 win in Game 1. Kyle Schwarber blasting a 488-foot home run, the biggest ever at Petco Park in San Diego, to help his side clinch the result.
And it is a breaking ball. Schwarber was ready. Hard forward is Disco. Second deck. Kyle Schwarber tees off. 2-0 Phillies.
Yes, he absolutely crushed that one. Audio thanks to ESPN. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast, a top of 24 today and mostly sunny, partly cloudy tomorrow 22, Saturday a shower or two 21, then showers and 20 on Sunday. Right now it's 13 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Hi, I'm Andrew Sullivan from Sullivan Consulting. When you're recruiting new people for your business, sometimes the best candidates aren't actively looking, which means tapping into passive candidates is crucial to finding the very best person for the role. Through our strong social media following and executive search capabilities, we've been able to match the very best people with roles time after time. When you need the right people for your business, get in touch. sullivanconsulting.com.au.
Be ready for life's ups and downs with Bupa. Get up to 10 weeks free when you join on eligible products. Plus, we'll waive the 2 and 6 month waiting period on extras. T's and C's apply. Search Bupa 10 weeks free today. Bupa, because life happens.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Good morning to you, Lucy and David with you. Will is off at Ashford Hospital, I think, or one of the hospitals around Adelaide.
Yep.
Expecting his new daughter sometime soon. Now, it is a Thursday and there is no Will, which means that our dear friends at Peter Shearer have not been blessed with their suit. He took home a suit yesterday.
Lucy hasn't gone. She hasn't gone full sort of Grace Jones androgyny and come in wearing a man's suit.
Now, look, as soon as Will texted me this morning, I'm not coming in, I thought, heck, do I have a formal dress I could put on?
Your thoughts immediately turned to Peter Shearer. What does it mean for them?
I know, and Peter Shearer, bless them. We'll give them the love anyway, because next week I have a feeling it might be you whipping out the suit, David. But
yes.
But don't worry, because from the work week to the weekend, update your style with Peter Shearer Menswear's huge range of brands. So for those who are watching on the Foodland Supermarket Facebook live stream, no, I'm not in my old formal dress from a decade ago. Maybe one day. Today is not that day.
You look like a stage technician at a theatrical show.
I've opted for the all black. I think I've got a bit of the nervous sweats happening, and black as well is said to make you look slimmer. So
hey, there's no need to be nervous. It's not like there's 130,000 people listening to us talk right now.
No, that's right. I've got full confidence in my abilities, your abilities, Sam's abilities, who's stepped up. But
You'll always sound more professional than I do, Liz. Just remember that. I've been here for 8 years. This is day one for you, and you're already sounding like you're an old pro.
That's a very, very generous compliment. Now, David, 6:35, what would you usually do if you were in this spot right now? What do you want to chat about here?
Well, I was going to ask, are you a Womad enthusiast? Have you ever been to Womad?
I've never been to Womad.
Seriously?
And I've only ever been to one music festival. One.
You're joking?
Not joking. It was 2014. I was second year uni, young 19-year-old Lucy. Second year of law. I went to Future Music Festival at the Showgrounds.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's a bit of... isn't it sort of a
sure
doof one?
Hence why I've never gone back. But no, I've never been to Womad.
Would have been a lot of police sniffer dogs at that one. Gee, I can't even count how many I've been to. The one I remember most fondly is the 1991 Big Day Out. I reckon a lot of our listeners would have been at that. It was the one at Adelaide Uni. It was about 43 degrees. I actually got heat stroke. It was the only time in my first few years working at the Advertisements when I didn't show up for work the next day. I mean, I will admit I was a little bit tipsy later that night, but I actually had genuine heat stroke from how hot it was. And it was so bad that the MFS sent fire engines down to the maths lawns at uni, which was the main stage, and they were hosing the crowd. But the headline acts, it was so good. It was Iggy Pop, Mudhoney and Sonic Youth, and it was dead set one of the best concerts. But Womad's a different vibe from that. It's a bit of a family day out. It's more of a middle-aged and older person crowd than a youthful rock festival. It's a lot more mellow, generally more mellow. Although a lot of the bands I've seen over the years at it that have been most memorable have been really loud and into it. But the really great thing about Womad, I reckon, is if, you know, it's probably not going to be your cup of tea if your idea of fun is listening to an FM radio station that plays Bryan Adams' Summer of '69 once every 3 hours and has got the world's most limited playlist. If you're into good music and new musical experiences where there'll be some band from... I remember going with Kate and the kids a few years ago, and the best band we saw was this crazy band from Mongolia called Hangai, who were basically like the sort of, I don't know, you'd probably call them like the AC/DC of Mongolia. Like, they're this huge following.
Have you found them on Spotify?
Yeah, they're on Spotify.
Your new favourite app?
I bought one of their CDs. They're terrific. But they, you know, foot up on the foldback, and the guy was going off. But the good news, and it's not all weird and inaccessible music like Hangai that you've never heard of. But there's 3 massive acts that Womad have announced for next year's 3-day concert, which is always held over the March long weekend. The first is someone who is a I think he's performed twice at Womad, from Senegal, Youssou N'Dour, who's just a superb singer. He partnered up on a few songs with Nina Cherry, great British musician. And then Billy Bragg,
excellent,
the old lefty busker himself. His first album, Talking to the Tax Man, about poetry, and his second one, no, that was his second one. His first one was Brewing Up, excellent records. And then, of course, the Proclaimers.
I mean, if you weren't up and about already, at 6:42 on a Thursday morning, this will get you going, the old Proclaimers.
This will be great live. I must admit, I sort of regard the Proclaimers as a bit like, you know, I don't know, the Knack, where it's like, okay, for $1 million, name 2 songs by the Proclaimers.
Yeah, they were the 2.
Yeah.
Letter from America, great tune.
It is a great song, isn't it? But you'd imagine that they'd have like a really diverse playlist. They'll probably play some traditional Scottish songs. But I'm reassured to hear that they're playing, because yesterday when the news broke that they were doing an Australian tour, I hadn't actually seen any Adelaide dates. And I thought, oh, not again. We're going to have another band snubbing Adelaide. But great to hear that they're going to be there. And you'd imagine that the Womad people will probably line them up for Saturday night, one of the headline spots, Friday night or Saturday night.
Hey, speaking of obscure music references, have you ever tried to rhyme the word orange with anything?
I was actually only talking to my 7-year-old about this the other day. He finds it fascinating that words can't rhyme with other words, and he was making all these he thought porridge sounded a bit like orange. I thought, I'll pay that. That's pretty good.
You've hit the nail on your head. Your young son is the next Eminem, as it were. Now, Eminem, for those who haven't heard of him, Marshall Mathers is a world-renowned rapper. I wouldn't usually play his music on 5AA, but
sadly, he's great.
Sadly, this video surfaced on my Twitter 2 nights ago. It is a video from 2016, and it is Eminem rhyming orange with various words.
I put my orange 4-inch door hinge in storage and ate porridge with George.
So he explains that if you say the word orange as a straight syllable, it doesn't rhyme with anything. But if you curve the syllables to sort of make it 2, orange. So he uses 4-inch, door hinge, porridge, and storage to
I'm
rhyme
proud
with
of
orange.
Sam. He's in the same esteemed company as Eminem, coming up with porridge.
7-year-old Sam is the next Marshall Mathers.
Oh wow!
As it were,
from the mean streets of Wayville. It doesn't really quite have the quite same evocative ring as Detroit's 8 Mile, but
that's it.
Yeah.
Well, good luck for your future rapping career, Sam.
Might be more akin to Vanilla Ice with his upbringing.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Let's get to traffic, shall we? With summer just around the corner, beat the rush and get your air conditioning sorted now with Mannix.
Good morning there at Hawthorn. Look out for electricity works today, Belair Road near Angus Road. You'll find a lane closed as well this morning at Eastwood. That's for works on Glen Osmond Road near Davey Street. She's slow going at the moment at Gilman. That's for works on the Porter Expressway near the Hanson Road ramp. She's down to 60 k's. Slow also South Road at Karata Park with cameras Blacks Road, Gillis Plains and Golf Parade at Maslin Beach. Audio C Coffee on the OTR wrap and enjoy a freshly ground barista-made coffee. It's as easy as click and collect. OTR. Making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Everyday low prices, any time of year. Trust the mighty South Aussies. Great food.
You're watching the 5AA live stream, thanks to Foodland.
Mighty South Aussies, yeah. Food.
Behind your mighty Adelaide Strikers. That's right. Tickets to all WBBL and BBL matches are now on sale. And to welcome back the best fans in the league, we're excited to offer early bird pricing for a limited time across all matches. Don't delay. Visit adelaidestrikers.com.au today for links to purchase, and we can't wait to see you back in blue this summer.
Now, when Will rocks up, which he hasn't done today, normally on a Thursday when he does rock up, I'm not sure what his excuse is today, he's looking extra sharp, isn't he, Lise? And when he comes in looking like a genuinely suave dude, there's only one name behind it.
That's right. Peter Shearer is the destination for menswear in Adelaide. I've actually been in various formal dates and boyfriends' shopping experiences. I have been into Peter Shearer.
So are you there with the right of veto as the partner saying, no, you're not wearing that?
Yeah, yay or nay.
You're not wearing a white linen suit to the formal?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
And with spring races around the corner, that genuine personal service goes a long way in finding the style and fit you're looking for.
Now, you don't want to miss this. The Peter Shearer Sidewalk Sale today and tomorrow in Rundle Mall. For 2 days only, you'll find ex-hire suits from just $99. Business shirts, wow, what about this? Business shirts from $30. Shorts from $20, come in handy now it's warming up, plus plenty more reduced items.
That's right, today and tomorrow in the mall with a huge range of brands in store and online. You can find the style you want and get the advice you need at the best price that works for you, always at Peter Shearer Menswear.
You can shop in store at Rundle Mall, Glenelg, Mount Barker and Gawler, or do it online at petershearer.com.au.
Callum here for Edwardstown Mazda. We get it, nobody likes to wait, especially for a new Mazda SUV. So here's some good news from the team. We've got some models in stock right now at Edwardstown Mazda, and we have more arriving really soon. That's got to make your day. Reserve your Mazda SUV now and ask about the Edwardstown Mazda 5-day turnaround promise. Only at Edwardstown Mazda.
It's gotta be.
LMVD 207428.
Kate Collins and Brendan Raglas. The faces you know and the team you can trust. 9 News, made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
Good morning to you. 5AA Breakfast with Lucy and David. Good luck to Will and Alison. Currently at the hospital, we are awaiting news of baby girl Goodings, but let's head to the Weather Bureau. Mark Analax, the senior forecaster at the Bureau. Morning, Mark.
Good morning, Lucy. David, how are you both?
We're good, thanks, Mark.
Pretty good, Mark. 24 mostly sunny today. How are we looking for the rest of the week?
Well, yeah, as you say, quite a pleasant day today, mostly sunny. Look, if anyone's at all concerned about showers, keep an eye on the eastern sky. If anything comes in, it'll come in from the east. So that system that delivered quite a bit of rainfall across the north of the state is now tracking across the eastern border. So for anyone worried about any showers that might pop up later tonight, keep an eye out to the east above the hills. That's where it'll come from. But for today, we're looking at a mostly sunny day, top at 24 degrees. Tomorrow should be fine again, 22 degrees. But come the weekend, a trough of low pressure will bring cooler southerly winds, quite windy as well. So windy, cooler, and the odd shower or two as well. So 21 degrees for Saturday and 20 for Sunday. Chance of a shower through the weekend.
Mark, I've got to ask, this Sunday rainfall, possible rainfall says 2 to 15 mils. That is a vast possible rainfall amount. What are you thinking we may or may not get?
Yeah, unfortunately, this sort of situation is quite a convective one. So heavy showers are hit and miss. So you could see nothing, you could see a heavy shower. So that's the reason for the large range there. But at this stage, it looks like we'll see showers passing over Adelaide, hit and miss stuff. But yeah, that's how it looks at this stage.
Good stuff, Mark. Thanks for that. We'll chat again tomorrow.
Cheers.
Going to have a very specific question for Mark tomorrow about the weather at Wollonga at 1 p.m.
Excellent.
Specifically 1 p.m. at the Wollonga golf course.
Does someone you know got to have a round
friend
of
of
golf?
mine
Excellent.
might be playing there tomorrow.
Excellent. Let's head to the SAPOL. Jen Cullinan, how are you today?
I'm good, Lucy and David. How are you?
Yeah, we're good,
thanks,
thank you. Normally I'm on the other side of the glass, but nice to chat to you.
I got a
in the
Guernsey
studio.
there, Lucy. Well done.
Thank you, Jen. Now, a person's been arrested in the city overnight.
Yes, they have. That was just before 3:30 this morning. Police were called to Rundle Street after reports a victim had returned to his car and found that the window had been smashed. Further inquiries revealed that a window at a fast food restaurant, also on Rundle Street, had been smashed, along with 2 further vehicles parked on the street. So police searched the area and a short time later located a suspect on Morfett Street with a cut to his hand, and on searching the man, police located a folding knife. So a 25-year-old man from Adelaide has been arrested. He's currently being interviewed by police and is expected to be charged later this morning with property damage and carry offensive weapon.
Excellent. Thanks, Jen. Just the one today.
That's it.
That's nice. Well, it was like a one item day. It's a nice sort of reflection of how generally life is pretty calm here in South Australia.
You know, it's lovely, isn't it?
Certainly is.
Making my job easy for me this morning. First day.
I know.
Thanks,
Got
Jen.
a feel now, Lucy.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jen. Bye.
Bye.
We're getting a mountain of texts through, and look, we're not sure. In fact, we strongly suspect that Will and Alison have got other things on their mind at the moment and aren't listening to the breakfast show. But just because there's such nice messages, we'll read them out. We'll read some of them out because there's so many we can't get through all of them. Where are we? How exciting! All the best for Will and Alison. That's from Teresa on the Foodland Supermarkets live stream. Another one on the live stream. Good luck to all from Robin. Another one here from our good friend Tessa in Paraka says, I'm thinking the birth music playlist should have Snoop Dogg on it, as today is his birthday. Maybe drop it like it's hot. Tessa signs off.
Well, we hope
I'm
no
so
one
here for
drops
the
it.
baby news. And one here, I'm so over Meghan Markle. I'm sick of hearing about her, but also congratulations to Will and Alison. Yay, that's from Antoinette, also on the Foodland Supermarkets live stream. And one for you, Lucy. It simply says, Lucy, you are great. Indeed you are.
That is very, very kind of you. Well, sorry, Antoinette, we are going to disappoint you slightly. We've got Tim Lester for Channel 7 over in the US chatting precisely about Meghan Markle this morning. Good morning to you, Tim.
Hate being a disappointment after that introduction. Yeah, no, morning, guys.
No.
We really set you up, mate. We're sorry about that.
Yeah, we're always happy to chat with you, Tim. Now, but Meghan Markle, never far from the spotlight. What is it this morning?
Well, she's got a cover article in Variety magazine, and they've done an interview, quite a lengthy interview. And I guess journalists looking in will be a little bit peeved that some of the questions they might have wanted in the interview aren't there. She does say that the time since the death of the Queen back on September 8th has been a complicated time for all of the royals, which hints to that relationship with the Prince and Princess of Wales. Remember those pictures of the Prince and Princess of Wales, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, in that apparent reunion in the days after the death, going out with the public. But otherwise, not a question asked on it. It's more about life in California. It's about her appreciation of the Queen, saying that the Queen has been the shining example of women in leadership in the world, and that she had a good relationship with the Queen. But a few of the more nitty-gritty questions about family relationships not touched.
I wouldn't be surprised, Tim. Often with those sort of softer magazine pieces, and we've actually had, and I always do this stuff through gritted teeth, where a couple of times we've had celebrities who come on the show, and sometimes there's such prima donnas that in advance they'll send you a complete and exhaustive list of all the things they're not prepared to be questioned about. And it begs the question, is this actually journalism at all, or is this just some sort of promotional piece which, you can almost argue that you should send them an invoice for it, because it's a version of themselves that they want presented to the public?
Well, my colleague in the office today, Glenn Ellis, threw the magazine in front of me and said, it's a press release, mate. And,
yes.
And I can't argue with him. I can't argue with him. If you're sitting down with the Duchess of Sussex and you don't ask about the relationship that the world, frankly, particularly just after the death of the Queen, had a quite aggressive, quite strong interest in. It seems a little unusual. There's some nice stuff in there, not taking away from that, but a couple of the big questions aren't.
Do you know, Tim, and you may not know, but she spoke to Variety both before the Queen's passing and afterwards. Do you reckon she changed any of her answers or let on any more insight after the passing?
Well, there are some lovely comments on the Queen. I mean, and credit to her. Most people would applaud those comments. Certainly the one about the Queen's shining example of women in leadership in the world. I don't think anybody would do anything but applaud to that. But what changed? Don't know. She does say, too, that she thinks her relationship with the Queen was warm, but again, not a lot of detail.
Definitely. Thanks, Tim.
Good on you,
Appreciate your
Tim.
time.
Tim
Good on
Lester
you.
from the 7 News US Bureau. I got to say, as annoying as I find Harry and Meghan, or annoying's even too strong a word, just a little bit preachy and irritating, I do think the level of abuse that she cops and the level of scrutiny that she cops as some sort of, Yoko Ono style, institution wrecking force. It's interesting to contrast it with the discussion around Prince Andrew, who, in an actual sense, like what he did is, by association, is, I think, bordering on criminal.
It's not really comparable, is it? When Meghan has come from, shall we say, the mortal world.
Yeah, but she seems to have become more of a hate figure than he has in the eyes of some in the media.
Yeah,
particularly.
which I can't comprehend.
No, I mean, you look at Piers Morgan, who I generally like, but the guy's totally lost his sense of perspective with all his incessant tweeting about her and highly personalised. I mean, I think that they're sort of indicative of this sort of showiness of the age that we live in, with all their posturing and their hypocrisy about telling the world about climate change while living in a 80-room house and getting around the world in a Learjet. It's just laughable. But having said that, they're not evil people.
No.
They haven't hurt anyone the way Prince Andrew may well have done.
And as far as celebrities go, everyone features in a news story here and there. You hear about the rise and fall of whatever films or songs or things people are releasing. But the royals cop it, well, especially in the last 6 months, daily. Something daily is coming out, and I can't imagine being a part of a family that would have to cop that every day for eternity.
Exactly. It's almost 7 o'clock. I've got time to embarrass you a bit more, Lise.
Go on.
We're getting a hell of a lot of rave reviews about your first hour proper in broadcasting on the Brecky Show. Good morning, team. Lucy, you were doing an excellent job. And another one here asks, this is from Rob, is it true that Will and his wife currently are being ramped at the hospital?
Rob
Based on the most recent statistics, Rob might be onto something.
He might be on the money, although there is actually a serious text here on the Automasters text line. For general information, trams from the Ra to King William Street are currently held up due to a medical emergency on a tram at the stop right outside of the Royal Adelaide Hospital. So we shall find out some more about that if we can, and we'll be back after the 7 o'clock news.
Patience pays off, especially if you've been holding out for a great deal on a new Volkswagen. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen is now receiving truckloads of new Volkswagens. Yes, they're coming. And they're available at amazing prices. Remember Mawson Lakes Volkswagen for servicing too, with next day servicing and free loan cars. Get a great deal on Volkswagen now. Don't dilly-dally, dawdle or delay. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
Hi, Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Interest rate rises have created a level of uncertainty with some buyers and sellers. But demand is still outweighing supply, with stock levels down by 10% compared with a year ago. It's critical you work with an agent who can deliver the facts and guide you to a successful sale. With a history spanning almost 40 years and a team of unrivaled experience, Toop and Toop knows what it takes to maximise your results in any selling conditions. Visit toop.com.au to find out more.
It isn't waste until you waste it. That's the catch cry from an amazing company called Eco Waste Solutions. Eco Waste Solutions is a hard waste recycling facility, not a dump, located at Williston. They'll take everything except hazardous waste and food scraps. They'll take your waste bricks, your mattresses, tyres, soil, timber, steel, concrete and more. Plus, if you pre-sort your load, you'll receive a 50% discount on disposal fees. Google Eco Waste Solutions Williston for more.
IGA's Price Match Promise. We checked, we matched, you won't pay more. Every week we check and match the regular price of the big two supermarkets on hundreds of everyday products. Just look out for the Price Match tickets in store. Participating stores only. See website for full terms.
At Steinborner, it's always been well worth the trip. Now we're evolving to include Steinborner Electric, where it's well worth the trip to the future. With Hyundai, Kona Extended Range, Ioniq Electric and Ioniq 5. Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross Plug-in Hybrid, all-new Outlander Plug-in Hybrid, Ford Escape PHEV and E-Transit. And now the new Benzina Zero Electric scooters and mopeds. Thinking electric vehicles? There's only one place to go. Steinborner Electric. It's well worth the trip to the future.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly sunny and 24 today with the 7 o'clock news. I'm Mel Usher. Police have arrested a man after he smashed several windows in the city overnight. Senior Constable Jen Cullinan says 3 cars and a fast food restaurant on Rundle Street were targeted.
Police searched the area and a short time later located a suspect on Morfett Street with a cut to his hand, and on searching the man, police located a folding knife. So a 25-year-old man from Adelaide has been arrested.
Flood concerns for the Riverland are rising, with new forecasts predicting a bigger water surge than first expected. Up to 120 gigalitres a day is predicted to stream down the River Murray into SA by early December. Emergency Services Minister Joe Sockarch says engineers and SES personnel will arrive in the Riverland today to inspect levees in the area.
The SES have been dedicating significant resources and hours to preparing for this extreme flow of water. They are ready for this flow and they'll be working incredibly closely with their counterparts across government.
Better access to the NBN by 2025 is on the cards for some Australian homes and businesses. Michael Packey has the details.
The federal government will allocate more than $2 billion in Tuesday's budget to help pay for upgrades to the national broadband network. The work had started under the previous coalition administration, but Labor says it'll accelerate the projects. Outer suburbs and regional areas across the country will be targeted for improved NBN. Labor believes the investment will create jobs for construction workers, engineers and project managers over the next 3 years.
A rugby league player from Queensland has been found dead in Spain. Emily Fagan has more.
Liam Hampson played for the Redcliffe Dolphins and had been holidaying in Europe with friends, including NRL player AJ Brimson. He went missing on Tuesday, prompting an appeal on social media to help find him. His sister, Tiana, has released an update saying she's woken to the saddest possible news after his body was discovered by police in a Barcelona nightclub where he was last seen. She says her family's devastated to find out Liam had an accident and did not survive.
Tens of thousands of civilians and Russian-appointed administration are fleeing the Kherson region in Ukraine. Russia ordered people to leave, with Ukrainian troops expected to advance through the region. Ukraine is urging people to ignore the orders. The local governor, Vitaly Kim, is sceptical about the Russian announcement.
Formerly, Russian army, every time they said that they are leaving territory only after it happened already. For the first time, they saying it before. So, in my opinion, they have another idea. For example, the terroristic act in Kherson region.
The countdown continues to next year's Womad. Another 30 artists have been added to the 2023 lineup. Heading to Botanic Park during the second weekend in March will be the Proclaimers, Billy Bragg, Yusu Ndor and the Bangara Dance Theatre. And 1 in 2 Aussie adults are expected to have an entry in tonight's Powerball. $100 million is up for grabs. It's the first $100 million jackpot this year. Now Now turning to 5AA Sport.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi.
And make sure you get that lotto ticket today for the newsroom, Tom
Well,
Wren.
I was going to say it's 2 out of 2 in this newsroom, Mel. I think we're both going to have one for tonight, so cannot wait. Let's hope we get the winning one. Let's start with footy. Ross Lyon is firming as the man to take over as coach of St Kilda more than a decade after he walked out on the club to coach Fremantle. An announcement is expected by the end of the week. To cricket, and South Australia has gone down to Tasmania by 7 wickets in their Shield clash and will now prepare for a one-dayer against the Tigers tomorrow. Meantime, the West Indies have kept their campaign alive at the T20 World Cup, defeating Zimbabwe by 31 runs. Scotland has gone down to Ireland by 6 wickets, meaning all 4 teams in Group B have 1 win heading into the final match day. To soccer now, Liverpool's good run of form has continued after recording a 1-0 win at home against West Ham. Darwin Núñez with the only goal in the 22nd minute.
Nice shape to that one, very nice shape, and a fabulous finish. Finally, the Liverpool fans see Darwin Núñez score at Anfield.
Yeah, big goal that one. Audio thanks to Optus. The result lifts the Reds up to 7th, while elsewhere Newcastle also had a 1-0 win against Everton. Southampton upset Bournemouth 1-0, while Brentford and Chelsea shared the points in a 0-0 draw. Manchester United is currently 1-0 up against Tottenham. There's about half hour to play in that one. To racing, Chris Waller says if rain impacts the Moonee Valley racetrack, that'll help El Bogdan rival Animo in Saturday's Cox Plate. If successful, Waller will join legendary trainer Bart Cummings as a 5-time Cox Plate winner following Winks' quartet. And the NBA season is underway with the Boston Celtics off to a winning start after taking care of Philadelphia by 9 points, while defending champions the Golden State Warriors beat LeBron James' LA Lakers 123-109. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Brooklyn Park reports of a crash. That's on Sir Richard Williams Avenue at the airport. At Hawthorn, urgent electrical works there, Belair Road near Angus Road. And look out for one lane out of action at Eastwood this morning, Glen Osmond Road near Davey Street. Pretty slow going as we speak. South Road is driving through Edwardstown. And we've got cameras Grange Junction Road, Hope Valley, and High Streets at Wollonga. Experience everything from F1 cars, Porsches, rally cars and more at the Bend Auto Fest this weekend at the Bend. Tickets on sale now at thebend.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, mostly sunny, 24 today, partly cloudy tomorrow, down to 22. Saturday, a shower or two, 21. Right now, it's 13 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
I've got the pregnant wife at home, you know, wasn't able to sleep through it.
Yeah. Yes. Now, we are rolling along nicely here.
Yeah, Lucy just picked up.
You just said something pretty massive.
Yeah, we've got a little girl on the way in October.
Mate! Congratulations,
Thank you.
Will.
You and I are going to have something in common. Well, something more in common. Thank you, mate.
Some awesome unscripted radio.
Yeah,
right there.
yeah, that's what happened.
Morning,
What about
David.
that?
Are you missing your partner, Will?
No, well, I always miss Will when he's not here, but I'm loving working with you, Lise. I've got to say, hearing that audio back,
It's lovely, isn't it?
yeah, there's a few things that I like about it. I like the sort of instinctive warmth between Will and I. I particularly love. I'd actually forgotten how genuinely terrified I was for the bloke, because I thought that when he said it, I thought
Yes.
he's just accidentally blurted this out.
Will is the...
And I was nervously trying to cover for him. We're going, yes. And I just sound like a complete dork.
No, it was excellent. Now,
But the third thing I love about it is you. Because if you listen closely,
you can hear me
we should
scream.
isolate it. And this is the glass booth we've got here. This is like the same
it is double glazed.
windscreen that they've got on the front of the Potemobile.
Yeah.
Like you and Sam out there in your terrarium producing the program.
Yes.
For your voice to have actually penetrated that glass is an oral marvel.
I know.
How did that happen?
I know. Now, we should clarify, the baby has not been born yet, but we got the text at 4 o'clock this morning that baby Goodings is on the way. So I'll be in the chair with you, David, for the next 2 weeks. Now, Heather from Glenelg East is calling. Morning, Heather.
Good morning, Lucy, of lovely voice, and David.
Hello, Heather. Yes.
Good morning. I've written 4 little lines, if agreeable. I want to check. The word in Spanish is bambina for girl?
In Spanish, it's actually bebé. I think in Italian it's bambina. Bambino, bambina.
Because I've written 4 little lines. Well, let's go international and say Italian with love to the Spanish, okay?
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Heather.
Molto bene.
With great alla vina to a little bambina. Dad will and Mama raise gold cup cappuccinos to a soon-to-be-born little bambina. Venus smiles and the moon prances, awaiting a new world of baby dancers. Maybe at 2, 3, or 9 or 11, a little girl born from a velvet sweet heaven.
That is beautiful, Heather.
Thank you,
That's
Heather.
all, and God bless to all.
Thank
the
you,
Bard
Heather.
of the Bay, Heather. From Grinnell Geeks. We should call you the Bard of the Bay, Heather. I love your poetry.
I try, but I'll never be Wordsworth.
No, Heather, thank you so much for that. And she mentioned cappuccino. I could do with a cappuccino right about now. Anyway, shall we press on with the news of the day?
Quick update on the trams as well. Were you going to do that?
Beat me
please?
to the punchline.
Well, you can do it if you want.
No, go ahead. You
Carol, very helpfully on the Automasters text line, has said Glenelg trams are now running from the Festival Plaza after their earlier hiccup. There you go. Thank you for that, Carol.
Excellent, excellent. Let's head straight to Victoria, shall we? So the Echuca levee. There's a 2.5 kilometre levee dividing the town. And the floods are raging there still. Echuca is still right in the hit zone. Now, this levee has been built over the last few days to protect as many homes as possible, but the problem is that dozens of homes are on the wrong side of the levee, so they're going to be sacrificed. Now, talking to Sky News, a couple of the Echuca locals have spoken about how either happy or unhappy they are that the levee is in place.
The levee they've built, they've continued our house levee behind me here. So that was all built yesterday. But the houses next to us, there's a block of flats there 2 foot lower than us. A lot of Echuca are a lot lower than us. So this water that's being held back by these levees is, we've got to keep it out. If we don't keep it out, it's trouble for everyone.
At the moment, I'm fairly gutted. We've spent the weekend helping the community out, sandbagging our own place, and only to be locked out away from the town. You feel like we've been segregated from our community.
So in Echuca, the Murray River is expected to peak at 95.6 metres above sea level on Friday or Saturday. Now, if it does hit that peak, it's going to be the highest recorded flood in the area for more than 150 years.
Wow.
In stressful news for the area, there's rainfall predicted this weekend for Echuca between 40 and 60 mils.
Jeez.
Now, we were saying that we might get between 2 and 15 this weekend, maybe.
Yeah.
But to have 40 to 60 mils in an already flooding area is highly stressful.
Geez, I reckon regardless of where you lived, and heartbreaking that they've had to make a sort of arbitrary call about where the levee is going to stop and start, but I think there'd be a broader question about how much store you would put in the fact that the thing's going to hold anyway. You know, this new structure that's built by moving earth around. Like the volume of water, it's a huge bet against Mother Nature that a man-made structure can hold against it. Just in terms of the local impact at the moment, there's a whole bunch of travellers in the far north who are currently stranded at the William Creek Hotel, who may well be there for quite a long time. There's a couple from Bermagui, which is a beautiful town on the south coast of New South Wales. They're down sort of past Narooma. Fabulous spot for fishing and whale watching and a lot of good golf courses too. So there's 6 travellers from interstate who were visiting the far north of South Australia. They were camping at William Creek, and now the roads in and out are blocked. And they're stuck at the pub, making the best of a bad situation.
Gosh.
So good luck to them.
We are going to chat to the managers of the Loxton Hotel after 8 o'clock this morning. They've just done very well in the Tourism Awards locally, but also they're not right on the riverfront, but they're not far off it. So we'll hear from what's happening up in Loxton at the moment. And a question here from Rob on the Automasters text line. Serious question. With all this water coming down the Murray due in early December, apart from protecting the riverside communities, is there a plan to top off our dams to get us through summer, as this is a rare opportunity for everyone to have as much as they need?
Yeah, wouldn't know, but a good question.
Great question.
Yeah.
Great question. Now, another hacking story to start your day. Here's Lara Vella on the Today Show this morning.
Medibank here has almost 4 million customers, and being a health insurer, it has access to a wealth of information about those customers. Everything from their personal details, their credit card information, and of course as well sensitive health details. Well, now allegedly hackers have threatened to release 200 gigabytes of all that personal data of Medibank customers and sell it to third parties unless the company pays a ransom.
Now, Medibank. If you are with Medibank, no doubt you'll hear from them ASAP. But I believe the hackers are targeting those with a prominent profile.
What,
so,
like what, public figures?
Public figures, those with a heavy social media presence.
Yeah, right.
But
it's just such an evil way to behave, isn't it? They just need to, like, nab one of these bludgers and, you know, whack them with a life-altering fine or lock them up for a while to send a bit of a message, because it's just becoming so pernicious. I guess part of the thing, though, is that where are they? I mean, you know, they're probably
scary.
in Vladivostok or, you know, Xingzhou or who knows, Nigeria.
Yeah, all you need is, I guess, a laptop or an IPN. Now, I'm no tech expert, but you can reroute XYZ to be able to do this totally anonymously. But the AFP are working, obviously, very closely with Medibank already.
Yeah.
Thankfully. Now, in case radio doesn't work out for you, David, I have a job offer.
Oh, excellent.
I mean, or for me. I might decide that this is not for me. It does mean you need to move to a town in Outback, North Queensland.
Nah.
A town called Julia Creek. It is 7 hours directly west of Townsville. So
quite a long way inland.
Quite a long way, and they have not had a GP for more than 10 years.
You're kidding.
And they are that desperate, they're offering a salary of more than $500,000.
Wow.
If you're a GP needing a change of lifestyle, Julia Creek could be your calling. Locals are having to travel hundreds of kilometres to other towns for their treatment. The closest one is 147 kilometres away in a town called Richmond.
Julia Creek.
Julia Creek. The population is about 500 people.
I don't understand the draw of living in the outback. I start to freak out, you know, like even the idea of living in Stirling doesn't do it for me, and I'm not having a crack at Stirling. I think Stirling is an absolutely beautiful place, particularly in winter. But the idea of summertime, living away from the ocean,
yep.
I have this, maybe it's because I was born at O'Sullivan's Beach, but I just sort of feel like if you're not near the water, even though you might not go to the beach for weeks, it's just,
you know, it's there.
Well, you're a Clare girl. Like,
that's right.
You could probably do Julia Creek. You certainly do it better than I could, Lise.
Yeah, but see, I love the beach as well. I love swimming in the ocean. I love walking along the beach. I love playing games on the sand. I'm all about the beach, but I am also about the country lifestyle.
Yeah.
Country loose. Sometimes Will dubs me. If ever I come up with a random country fact,
that's right.
I get country loose. Anyway.
Mark's texted in saying, great work team, Will's been replaced by a sprinter. Hope you can keep up, Pembo.
God, Mark. I don't know.
Hey, also, we got a text right at the very start of the show.
Yes.
Which is, in both parts, just a warm and generous good luck Will message with a bit of newsy goodness thrown in. Here we go. Stephen in Mount Barker. Good morning, guys. Best wishes to Will and his wife. On a serious note, can everyone please take care and keep a lookout for snakes? The past 2 days of warm weather, they've become prolific, especially up here in the hills. I saw 3 red-bellied blacks yesterday within 5 kilometres on my school bus run. My sister lives in Strath. The other day she was out in the front veranda of their house and she went, oh, what's that thing down there? And she goes, it's
snake season.
It's a large brown snake.
Yeah, I nearly trod on one. I live along the Linear Park in the inner northeast, and I nearly trod on one probably about, it was either 6 months ago or a year ago, so right at the either end or very beginning of snake season. And I was
snake?
Brown snake, 4-footer, and I was just in shorts.
4 foot?
Yep, 4 foot. And thankfully I saw it and I stayed back, but it was dopey as. So they're not fast moving just yet. Well, the one I came across certainly wasn't, but they're out. And councils, I feel,
Linear Park.
Yep, on the bitumen pathway.
So which suburb?
Marden.
Really?
I was in Walkerville at that point, but yes.
I suppose Rivers, it's not that surprising, is it?
No, but there were kids around. There was a playground right where it was, and luckily a mum actually called out. She said, "Are you all right down there?" I said, "Yeah, there's a brown snake." She said, "Yeah, I can see it from afar."
Oh, crikey. Hey, if you've had any recent snake encounters, folks, give us a ring, 8223 0000. Tell us where you've seen them.
Let's get to traffic now with summer just around the corner. Beat the rush and get your air conditioning sorted now with Mannix.
Thanks, Lucy. At Brooklyn Park, reports of a crash. That's on Sir Richard Williams Avenue at the airport. It's got a lane closed this morning at Evanston Park. Slow going inbound at the moment. Speeds at 40. It's Main North Road near Potts Road. And look out for works at Gilman, slowing things up today as well. It's on the Port River Expressway near Hanson Road. Cameras, Gorge Road, Athelston, and another one, Kelly Road at Modbury. Hungry? Head to a Port Save for the Bondi Burger Box. Double Bondi Burger, 2 crispy chicken strips, Snack Chips, drink and dipping sauce, just $16.95 at a Port Save. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Everyday low prices, any time of year. Trust the mighty South Aussies. Great food lives here. Foodland. The mighty South Aussies, yeah. Foodland.
You're watching the 5AA live stream, thanks to Foodland.
$30,000 on premium upgrades when you build with Rivergum Homes. Choose from up to 27 quality options and upgrade your home and your life with stylish kitchen appliances and stone veg tops, home automation, premium flooring and a solar energy pack with EV charger. But for a limited time only. Go to rivergumhomes.com.au or visit any of our displays at Seaford, Parafield, Anglevale, Playford Alive or Mount Barker. Terms and conditions apply.
Is it possible to create tomorrow's car today? Hyundai believes so. Take the Tucson, Hyundai's midsize SUV, featuring a revolutionary look, intuitive interior, advanced tech, and safety. You can enjoy all this in the Tucson Turbo Diesel all-wheel drive. Available now. Tomorrow's car is here today. Hyundai Tucson, in stock now. Visit Hyundai.com.au. Imagine that. Hyundai.
You can kiss my Asco goodbye because Asco dishwashers are on sale. I tell you what, Liz, I have had an Asco dishwasher for probably 10 years and it's like it's brand new. It's an absolutely fantastic piece of equipment. And look, you can save a whole stack of money during the Asco dishwashers sale, courtesy of our good friends at Spartan. Asco dishwashers are on sale for up to $300 off, but it's only for 3 days only at the Spartan Electrical Renovator Sale. Plus, there's up to 15% off Asco kitchen packages, so you can kiss all their Asco products goodbye.
Spartan's 3-day only renovator sale starts tomorrow. Get Adelaide's biggest appliance savings all weekend and stick around for the free barbecue, kids' treats and cooking demos.
I used to live in the same street as Spartan Electrical in Torrensville. Shop local, shop Spartan's once-a-year renovator sale. Campbelltown or just down the road on Wainhouse Street, Torrensville, starts tomorrow.
Mini Jumbuck, now in McLaren Vale, make Australia's favourite wool bedding products, proudly made right here in South Australia. Mini Jumbuck uses the finest Australian wool to handcraft their quilts, mattress toppers, pillows and more. If you're looking to improve your quality of sleep, start with a visit to Mini Jumbuck McLaren Vale today. You'll find some great specials in store, along with fabulous gift ideas for adults and children, or to spoil yourself. Mini Jumbuck McLaren Vale, open 7 days, Australian made, Australian owned.
G'day, it's Baz from FIVEAA Milk Company. Just wanted to make sure you knew that our milk only comes from SA dairy farmers. So make sure the milk you buy is only from SA dairy farms. Because you see, no matter how tough it gets out there, our dairy farmers always put you first. So let's support them. Look for FIVEAA Milk Company products in your supermarket. 3 words make all the difference. FIVEAA Milk Company. South Australian first and proud of it.
Kate Collins and Brendan Raglas, the faces you know and the team you can trust. 9 News, made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Good morning, 7:23. Coming up after 7:30, it is Matt Abraham Day, thanks to Mighty Helpful Mitre 10. And of course, this year, together with Adelaide Exposed Concrete, we are hitting the fairways for the first ever FIVEAA All-Star Golf Day. Well, I'm not. I can't swing a golf club at all.
Are you not a golfer, Lise?
No, I'm also not a favourite FIVEAA presenter yet.
Well,
Day
I don't
one.
know.
You never know.
You're off to a flying start.
But the best thing is you could be joining us down at Glenelg Golf Club. All you need to do is head to fiveaa.com.au to register your details. We are calling a winner this Friday who's going to be joining the gang, including you, Pembo.
We were down there yesterday. I had a very brief lesson thanks to Ryan, cracking bloke, one of the pros down there at Glenelg. I'd never actually been inside the course before. It's a stunning course.
Beautiful day for golf yesterday as well. You were lucky.
It was good. But generally, because after the show, getting up at stupid o'clock, I never play golf straight after the show. I always have a bit of a nana nap, and if I do play, I'll play at noon or 1 o'clock.
Yep.
So it's an afternoon thing for me, which is my excuse for explaining why I was just, yet again, total garbage.
Would have tested
on the
your
driving
abilities,
range.
possibly.
I was just getting frustrated and hitting the ball in all sorts of weird directions. So, yeah, if you want to come along, and if you're one of those people, to use the German word, Schadenfreude, take delight in the misery of others, come along Monday week and watch me try to play golf.
Yeah, that's all right. Book your group now at fiveaa.com.au. Spots are filling fast. Don't miss out, thanks to Adelaide Exposed Concrete. Now, of course, Will does this seamlessly, talking about sport and the Crows with Rowi's piece of audio here. Enjoy that same feeling you get with a new Toyota on a Toyota certified pre-owned car at North Point Toyota. Here is Rowi from last night talking about the Crows.
I'm led to believe, and I know to be a fact, they left no stone unturned. I don't think Chappie could have turned over any more stones to get a home. And they settled with that, but we couldn't get it over the line. Now we've landed at FIVEAA, and now there's some La residents that have got concerns as well.
The inclusion of Kings Reserve, which is our only large parkland area, is going to be turned into an oval that we will have access restricted by some way.
Betty's never been on it. Betty's not so much as walked his bloody dog on it. I reckon I've driven down that road near the brickworks 3,847 times. And other than the odd soccer field, we train down there for our state. The state footy trains down there. I've done that, for the last 15 years? Never seen a person on it.
I'll tell you what, looking at the comments, and there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments, and not just from Crows people, even Port people, the comments underneath the post of the story about the seemingly nascent, possibly growing furor among some, and I stress the word some, locals in the West Torrens Council area about the Crows headquarters going there, I reckon they were running 98% along the lines of, what kind of a joke has this city become, where the third tier of government in our massively over-governed country, after a period of consultation between the Adelaide Football Club and the West Torrens Council that has lasted for 2 years. They didn't find out about this a month ago. They have been discussing this for 2 years, and the mayor himself has actually, until recently, until the council elections were called, when he started to get an attack of the vapours, he's actually been brilliant and professional about it. And what's happened now is a classic example, and it's what Alexander Downer said to me when I interviewed him last week for The Australian. Yet another example of how in Adelaide the squeaky wheelers can get in the way of projects which are vastly for the greater public good, and indeed, I would say, particularly for the greater good of people who live in that part of town. Now, I mentioned before during the Spartan Electrical ad, I spent 4 years living in Wayne House Street, Torrensville. You know, one of the defining features of the Thebarton Oval over the last 3 decades, since it stopped being a weekly ground for SANFL games, was it's almost always locked. If you want to go into that ground and play, it's not open to the public the same way the Crows thing's going to be. So, you know, we yet again are facing the prospect of, you know, people of X against Y getting their way and keeping the city stuck in the 19th century.
Strong sentiment.
Oh, well, you know, that's what we're here for, Liz.
That's right. So they say. So they say. Enjoy the same feeling you get with a new Toyota on a Toyota certified pre-owned car at North Point Toyota. Back after the 7:30 news.
G'day, it's Jared for Southern Mitsubishi. Thinking Mitsubishi or servicing your existing car? Southern Mitsubishi is your absolute go-to. Their state-of-the-art servicing technology and world-class quality control systems will ensure your vehicle gives you many years of hassle-free motoring pleasure. The same goes for buying a new Mitsubishi. They stock the full range, all designed to thrill. So get in touch with the amazing team at Southern Mitsubishi, 147 Main South Road, Morphett Vale, driven by Australian Motors, LVD 80.
Don't just send it. ASIC.
Chris from ASIC Couriers is with us. Chris, you need more drivers.
Absolutely, Rowie. We need more drivers to maintain our highest standard of perfect service. And due to new contracts starting, we need drivers urgently. So if you qualify and join our team now, we'll give you $1,500.
Wow! $1,500?
Yep, if you have a driver's licence, you're already qualified. So get in touch with us. Visit asiccouriers.com.au. Conditions apply.
It's fair to say that SA would not be the same without its iconic businesses shaping our community, and this week's Business of the Week embodies just that. It's Phantom Screens.
That's right, Lou. Since 1995, Phantom Screens have been protecting homes from flies, mozzies and the elements without interrupting the view, no matter what that is. It could be your backyard, your front yard, or stunning views over the hills and coast.
Phantom Screens can custom make retractable screens up to 7 metres wide and are manufactured using top quality aluminium extrusions, which are powder coated in the Deluxe powder coating range. And not only that, but their products are chromate pre-treated, making Phantom Screens the only marine approved retractable screening and shading system on the market.
That's right, you don't want to get rusty. Chromate, that's the stuff you want. For more on this amazing and innovative SA business, jump online and visit phantomscreens.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly sunny and 24 today with the 7:30 news. I'm Mel Usher. A group claiming responsibility for Medibank's cyber attack is holding the insurance company to ransom. Lara Vella reports.
This latest data breach could impact millions of Australians and see their sensitive health information and credit card details sold to third parties after hackers contacted Medibank and demanded the company pay a ransom. The messages at this stage are unverified, but Medibank says it is taking the threat seriously, with the hackers claiming they'll directly contact 1,000 customers with prominent profiles, like politicians and actors, using their own data. The Home Affairs Minister is aware of the threat, so too is the AFP, and they are working closely with Medibank as investigations continue, with the company put into a trading halt yesterday afternoon.
A number of windows were smashed in the city overnight. Senior Constable Jen Cullinan says they were called to Rundle Street around 3:30.
The victim had returned to his car and found that the window had been smashed. Further inquiries revealed that a window at a fast food restaurant, also on Rundle Street, had been smashed, along with 2 further vehicles parked on the street.
Soon after, a 25-year-old man was found in Morphett Street with a cut to his hand. On searching him, police discovered a folding knife. He's been arrested and is expected to be charged with property damage and carrying an offensive weapon. Engineers and SES personnel will head to the Riverland today to inspect levees in the area. Rising floodwaters interstate are expected to flow downstream in early December, with water levels not seen for almost 50 years. Premier Peter Malinauskas is urging the Riverland community and visitors to be prepared but not alarmed.
The 120 gigalitre forecast could be revised upwards into the future because we know there is more rain to come.
More than $2 billion will be included in the federal budget to upgrade NBN services over the next 3 years. The money will mainly be allocated to outer suburban and regional areas across the country. Labor says 1.5 million homes and businesses will have improved broadband. In SA, that covers Christie Downs, Bridgewater and Mount Gambier. Another major event on the SA calendar starts tonight, the Ausasia Festival. The event will run till November 6, featuring more than 500 artists. Artistic Director Annette Shunwar says the program includes 10 world premieres.
Including next week Action Star, which is Maria Tran. Maria's someone I like to describe as Australia's most famous star of Kung Fu action star movies. She's a great fight choreographer and performer.
The Duchess of Sussex has given another sit-down interview, this time to Hollywood Bible Variety. Meghan spoke to the magazine both before and after the Queen's death. US correspondent Jonathan Kersley reports.
The Duchess of Sussex says the grieving period was complicated, but she was grateful to have been able to support her husband Prince Harry and have had what she described as a nice warmth with the matriarch of the royal family. Meghan also confirmed she will not be returning to acting.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi.
And with everything footy, here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Yes, we'll start there. Ross Lyon is reportedly set to be confirmed as St Kilda's coach by the end of the week after his third meeting with the Saints in as many days. To cricket, an Australian leg spinner Adam Zampa has been training with water-soaked cricket balls to prepare for the T20 World Cup. The Aussies are set to face New Zealand in soggy conditions at the SCG on Saturday. Meantime, South Australia's players will recover today following their 7-wicket Shield loss to Tasmania. To soccer, Liverpool's made it back-to-back wins in the English Premier League after taking care of West Ham 1-0. Newcastle also had a 1-0 win to cement sixth spot on the table. The winner, an absolute peach on the half-hour mark.
Almiron will shoot! St James's Park in full voice!
Audio thanks to Optus. That result against Everton. Elsewhere, Southampton also had a 1-0 win in their match. Brentford and Chelsea drew 0-0, while Manchester United is currently 2-0 up against Tottenham with only a few minutes to play. Well, former captain Michael Hooper is back on deck with the Wallabies ahead of the spring tour to the UK. He's in line to take on Scotland in Australia's first match of the spring tour Sunday week. Halfback Nick White has told Wide World of Sports it's great to have Hooper back.
Kind of been keeping in contact with him over the last while and kind of knew that spring tour was what he was aiming for, and he's trained the house down the last couple of days, so look, he's certainly raring to go, and looks like he hasn't missed a beat.
And that is the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Pretty smooth sailing for the run-in today. No great hassle. Simply some works to look out for today. You'll find them at Angle Park with a lane out of action. Speeds at 40k South Road near Katina Streets. Got work slowing things up today at Gilman, the Porter Expressway near Hanson Road, and the intersection upgrade of Fullerton Road and Cross Road is pretty slow with speeds at 40. Got cameras today, Blacks Road, Gillis Plains and Port Road, Adaltinga. Trade up to the new Google Pixel 7 Pro and enjoy $300 bonus credit when you trade in any mobile phone. Ends October 31. Trade-in powered by Kingfisher. Eligible service required. Adelaide's most accurate traffic card, 5AA.
5AA's weather, mostly sunny for your Thursday, 24, partly cloudy tomorrow, 22, Saturday a shower or two, 21. Right now it's 15 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Last month we spoke about the best new laptop of 2022, HP's Envy X360. Well, it just got better. Harvey Norman has added a special new bonus. Not only do you get a 2-for-1 device that has a flip screen to make it more like a tablet, and fast, reliable computing with 16 gig of RAM and a 512 gig solid-state drive. On top of all these incredible specs, you'll also score a bonus $300 Harvey Norman gift card. The perfect excuse to grab some accessories or even treat yourself to a new coffee machine. All yours with a beautifully designed HP Envy, available now at Harvey Norman for only $1,999.
Check out this great offer at 5AA.com.au. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Montine, everybody's talking about Montine.
And everybody's talking about Ford, Kia, Hyundai and Mitsubishi, with all four brands representing state-of-the-art vehicles with unheard-of stock availability. Montine at Mount Barker is your ultimate destination for servicing, parts, used cars, vehicle finance, all at one perfect location. Mention the code word MG coming soon to receive $500 free accessories on any vehicle purchase. Now that's why everybody's talking about Montine.
MVD 182170.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
Good morning to you. It is 7:38 this Thursday. David Penberthy and Lucy Loken for the next 2 weeks. Will is at the hospital with his wife Alison. We are awaiting news of baby girl Goodings.
Yes.
But it being a Thursday, we do have Smeg coming up shortly, and after 8 we are crossing to Loxton. But it is time for...
Mitre 10 out of 10 every time.
Matt Abraham, your local Mitre 10 friendly service, expert advice, quality brands at great prices. That's mighty helpful Mitre 10. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Lucy. It's good to see some rational thought in the studio.
Ah, that's very kind
Good
of
morning,
you.
David.
Hello, Matt. How are you?
A compliment on your way in. That's
I'm
lovely.
not as sick as I sound. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
I made the mistake of doing some gardening yesterday. It's like, it's gone.
The old
It
gardening.
might be the pollen. Rather
I think it
than-
is.
Yeah.
I think it is. Yes.
Yeah.
I've done a rat this morning out of courtesy out of an abundance of caution.
We appreciate your
And it's
abunding
positive,
of
so I don't. No, I don't. It's not. It's not.
I would have thrown a spanner in the works.
It wouldn't matter if it was anymore, would it?
No.
No, legally we could
It's
all
all
still
about-
be here.
It's all about self-management these days.
That's right.
As Nicola Spurrier said herself the other
That's
day.
right. I rode my bike in without a helmet. It's all good.
That's all right, Matt.
No,
That's-
No. Let's not go there. We went there last week. We won't go there.
Matt, I believe you had some thoughts on your way in about Theberton.
Oh, you heard me shouting behind the glass, did you?
That's right. Well, we discovered when I
shouting at me.
shouted,
When David-
it can do it.
I have written my in-daily column about this, so I'll hold a few punches back here.
Are you and I going to have one of our passionate agree to disagree moments, Matt?
Yes, or we'll just disagree. We'll get rid of the agree. I did read your excellent article in the Australian on Alexander Downer and the squeaky wheelers, so I've written about this, because my theory, I don't want to give too much away, but my theory is that the biggest. Actually, I'll give away my intro par. Okay, I don't often do this. And I rarely, in my columns, either previously in the Sunday Mail and in the In Daily, get to the point in the first paragraph. I usually get to it about 300 words in, after a fascinating anecdote or something.
Keep
about
them
my personal-
tantalised.
That's right. Or they go to sleep and no one reads the rest of it. But for once, I get to the point in the first paragraph. The biggest whingers in Adelaide are the whingers who whinge about whingers.
Oh.
Okay?
Here we go.
It's a never-ending cycle, isn't it?
It is. And, okay, so I'm reading Alexander Downer, and that's fine. I like Alexander, actually. I'm thinking, who are these squeaky wheelers? Okay? Because it seems to me that the squeaky wheelers never get oiled in Adelaide. Like the West Torrens, the Thebe residents there, they've got a legitimate concern, okay? I'm not saying they're right. I'm just saying they've got a legitimate concern. They're not going to be listened to by their own council.
No, I think they are. They're doing a
No.
they're doing a survey at the moment about what they think.
Yeah. The council's told them to rack off, haven't it? Really? It said there'll be no further consultation.
Well, the CEO said the other day that after the survey is completed, he thinks that should be it. But
That's right.
The idea that they're going to get railroaded and that a beloved local park is going to be destroyed with no thought to their feelings, I just don't think that's right. I think that they're trying to find a compromise arrangement. But see, the thing is, though, Matt, like, how many people were at that meeting?
300 residents.
How many people live in the area?
How many people on the executive of the Crows? Like 4, I mean, look, okay, I know that, but 300's quite a lot in an area. Like, most people have got things to do.
But if it's the life-changing thing that the 300 who were there say it's going to be, you would expect that in a suburb that's probably home to, I don't know, 30,000 people, 20,000 people, that more than 300 might actually turn up.
300's quite a lot to go to a meeting. Well, in my view, 300 is quite a lot to go in a meeting, to a council meeting. Not been to council meetings and been totally ignored, despite some of my brilliant speeches to them. But, so, look, I just think the premise that somehow protest groups in Adelaide stop development and set us back into the 90s or 80s or lock us in is wrong. I'm not saying they're not annoying.
But there's a lot of things
they don't stop it. What do they stop?
Oh, well, okay. Things like concerts in the city of Adelaide, festivals like Soundwave. The council almost stopped the Harvest Festival.
They didn't stop it, though, did they?
Well, no, but they would have if the state government hadn't intervened.
Of course, that's right. They just get rolled over. It doesn't matter.
No, this could derail the entire rest of the show, Luce.
Well, no, I'm just saying, look. You look at
the Sacker almost, if not for the fact that there was a massive rearguard action. Kevin Foley was in there from the start and deserves huge credit for the fact that oval upgrade ever got off the ground. But if not for the fact that people like John Howard started writing direct letters to Sacker members saying, please, you have to support this, that oval would not have been redeveloped because there was a whole group of people saying, we don't want to lose the views of the Adelaide Hills with the new Eastern Stand.
I wish I'd been listened to. But look, no, I like it. I like Adelaide Oval. It's great. And the footbridge, which I oppose, should be bigger. But here's the thing about Saka. They're a disgrace. They offloaded a new grandstand they built. They were drowning in debt. They were about to go bankrupt. They offloaded all the debt from that. It was about $80 million. Let's just remember this. Okay, John Howard wrote a letter to the members. No, the nuts and bolts of it were that they offload, part of the deal that made the Oval happen was that they offloaded about $80 million worth of debt onto the taxpayers of South Australia. You know, the squeaky wheelers, the little people, you know, Terry taxpayer, or Terrence taxpayer, as Phil Curry calls him. That's what unblocked that deal for Saka. Okay, and then John Howard wrote a letter, and the Saka members all said, okay, because we're going to get to live another day. I mean, the squeaky wheelers are the people who kick. Actually, I might go home and change my column a bit and work some of these great lines in.
This is good. We're a sounding board for you. You're welcome.
Anyway, sorry. No, it's not that I have passionate views on this.
No, exactly. What about the world of sports grants?
Yes. Or this is sports rorts, I think we can call them.
Sports rorts. Ros Kelly and her whiteboard.
Yes. Well, this is happening. This is our own little version here of the sports rorts. And I've loved watching how this plays out because there's no doubt that the way the Malinowskis government has distributed these grants to sporting communities, overwhelmingly in marginal seats that they wanted to win, or safe Labor seats. The Auditor General's been denied access to any documents that show how the decisions were made. And Peter Malinowskis on telly last night said, Premier Peter Malinowskis said, oh, well, it's cabinet in confidentiality. I don't think the documents exist. Because, well...
Do you reckon they were done by ALP head office?
I think Reggie Martin, who's now on the Legislative Council, they got a big map. You know, they got a big map.
They got the McKerris pendulum and a list of new grandstands.
Then you get that wax-proof paper and put it on top, and then you draw it out.
Exactly. Just jokes, Reggie, if you're listening.
These grants were decided by Labor Party. The Labor Party decided during the election campaign about these grants, and they're now pretending that there was somehow, well, I don't think they're even bothering pretending, actually, that there's somehow some sort of formal government rigorous process to decide whether this was the right way to spend the money or not.
The thing I find weird about it is if they've got nothing to hide, why would there be any objection to the Auditor General looking at it?
Well, I think because there's nothing to look at.
So you didn't even think there was a proper process?
No. Well, I'm sure it was sort of discussed in, there must be, someone has to sign a cheque in Cabinet. But, for instance, the Playford Women's Shed, and there was a great photo of Peter Malinowskis, and I have noted that all the photos of Peter Malinowskis are taken at ground level to accentuate his height. Like, you have a look at him; they're quite incredible.
6'4" odd.
Yeah, but he looks about 16 foot tall. From these things, he looks like a towering god.
Next to me, he's 7'10".
Yeah. Anyway, they how they have these big fake cheques. Well, somebody was holding it. Now, I don't think the government did this, but it was the $60,000 cheque for the Playford Women's Shed, which I think is fantastic. I love sheds. Okay. $60,000, not knocking that. But it was signed by the Premier, Chris Picton, I think, local, whoever, Katrina Hildyard, whatever. And it had the ALP logo on it. Didn't have the government logo on it. I thought, well, that's not right, because it's not the Labor Party money.
No, that's true.
I mean, they're skint now, having had to pay back the CFMEU $400,000 anyway. But it's not Labor Party money, it's taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
So it's government money. So if you're going to hold up a cheque, it should be the government of South Australia.
Yep, completely.
Anyway, you're not going to change that. The federal government, the Morrison government did it.
A long and ignoble history.
But it is a rort.
One of the things that fed into the big argument about creating a national ICAC too.
Yeah.
There you go. Matt, shall we rate some spin?
I think so, Lucy.
What am am I saying? I'm driving the ship. So, let's rate some spin.
You are. Now,
Matt's got to get out of here. He's got to go and chain himself to a bulldozer a bit later.
Chain himself to a laptop. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's right. We've been his sounding board. He's got to make a few edits. What do you got this week?
I get some of my best stuff from David when he's here. Now, of course, Liz Truss.
Our favourite.
Oh, Liz Truss.
I think over breakfast she's lost another 3 or 4 ministers.
That's in the last hour and 50 minutes.
So I don't know how many more they've got to go. But anyway, she was missing from the House of Commons. She was absent, and there was a lot of speculation about where she was. This is the leader of the House of Commons, one Penny Mordaunt, explaining her leader, Liz Truss's absence.
The Prime Minister is not under a desk, as the Honourable Lady. I can assure the House. I can assure the House that with regret, she is not here for a very good reason.
We don't know what that good reason was, but we do know she's not under a desk. Don't ever send Penny out to explain why you're not at work, you know.
She seemed sort of quite sad that she wasn't under a desk as well.
I know.
But didn't
regretfully.
We said the other day she made the fatal error too of walking directly into that quote by repeating it.
Yes, exactly. That's right. You never ever. This is the number one rule for politicians. You know, when a journalist says, "Oh, you must be cruel to dogs," I am not cruel to dogs.
Yeah, that's right.
Minister denies he or she is cruel to dogs. Anyway, I'm giving Penny 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
Out of 10 every time.
Thank you, Matt.
Excellent stuff, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Do it all again next week.
Your local Mitre 10 friendly service, expert advice, quality brands at great prices. That's mighty helpful, Mitre 10. Let's get to traffic with summer just around the corner. Beat the rush. Get your air conditioning sorted now with Mannix.
Thanks, Lucy. She's a cracking run in today. Accident and breakdown free on the majors. Simply some works to keep in mind. You find a lane closed at Angle Park, that's South Road near Katina Street. Slow going at Gilman with works on the Port River Expressway near Hanson Road. Speeds at 60. And we're slow going for works of the intersection upgrade of Fullerton Road and Cross Road. Look out for cameras, High Street, Belunga. And you'll find another one, North East Road at St Agnes. Shop local at Adelaide Central Market. Open Tuesday till Saturday with 70 traders under one roof and easy undercover parking. Our market, always Adelaide Central Market. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Everyday low prices, any time of year. Trust the mighty South Aussies. Great food lives here. Foodland, the mighty South Aussies, Foodland, the mighty South.
You're watching the 5AA live stream, thanks to Foodland.
Mighty South Aussies,
For over 50 years, we have specialised in commercial and residential property management. But above all, we specialise in people, helping to make life easy for property investors and the tenants of their properties. Everyone is treated with integrity and respect. That's the Lynn Andrews way. For commercial and residential property management, we are here to help. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
Are you ready for your next escape adventure?
Certainly am, Lois, and I absolutely love this. It's Adelaide's big four-wheel drive and adventure show, plus also, how's this for bang for your buck, the Club Marine SA Boat and Fishing Show, and it starts this Friday, goes through until Sunday at the Adelaide Showgrounds.
All the gear and advice you need for your next adventure is there. See everything from caravans, camper trailers, camping, boats and fishing gear, four-wheel drive accessories and more.
And get new skills at the Cub 4x4 Adventure Hub, a huge fishing zone, plus while you're there, enter for your chance to win the adventure-ready Jayco Cross Track.
The four-wheel drive and adventure show plus Club Marine SA Boat and Fishing Show starts tomorrow for 3 big days at Adelaide Showground. Get your tickets online at 4wdshow.com.au.
Need a forklift? Don't just get a forklift, get a Toyota forklift. Toyota is the world's #1 forklift brand with a great range of pallet jacks, walkie stackers and reach forklifts right up to their leading Toyota counterbalance forklifts. Legendary reliability and safety with cleaner, greener electric options, Toyota can tailor the right forklift solution for you. It's all part of the Toyota Forklift Advantage. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Get a Toyota forklift.
G'day, it's Eddie May from NRG Solar here. Everything is going up. We're seeing it in fuel, interest rates, in our everyday shop, even the humble lettuce. But there's one thing that's really going to bite. It's the hike in electricity, and it's not going away unless you do something about it. At NRG Solar, we'll show you how to zero out your energy bills with NRG solar panels and battery storage. So get in touch with NRG Solar today and start saving. Visit nrgsolar.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7:53. We are in for a top of 24, mostly sunny today. Coming up shortly, it is Smeg time. But first, let's go to John Blake, Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, Interstate Freight, Distribution, Warehousing and Local Adelaide Couriers. Call Aussie Fast 13 13 64.
Now, the latest news with Wallace Fogg. Good morning, early risers. This is Wallace Fogg with another 5AA News Update. Council elections are in the news with the arrival last week of ballot papers in our letterboxes, and the race is now on to elect new councillors and a new Lord Mayor. Voter participation has traditionally been low in council elections, and the South Australian Electoral Commission says one of the reasons is that the ballot papers are very useful for lining the bottom of budgie cages. The South Australian Origami Society said that another reason could be that members like to use the pink paper to fold into a lovely pink flamingo and the other paper into a very pleasing blue frog. An urgent probe has been ordered into reports that RAAF pilots are being recruited by China to teach Chinese pilots Western flying techniques and tactics. Some pilots are being offered up to $450,000 a year to work for the Chinese, and this is causing concern amongst defence hierarchy. Others have suggested we should use this as a way to infiltrate the Chinese Air Force and get our pilots to secretly work for us by teaching the Chinese flyers to fly really slowly and upside down. At the same time telling them that in the West we usually fly without ammunition because it makes the jet lighter and much more manoeuvrable. And finally this morning, Extinction Rebellion have been at it again, with protesters causing trouble at the final day of the Oil and Gas Conference at the Convention Centre. Some arrests were made for disturbing the peace, others for being too tall, some for being too old, and others for just being annoying. Meanwhile, Westfield Shopping Centre and Tea Tree Plaza have said they rely on fossil fuels to power their complex. This announcement is being seen as bait for Extinction Rebellion to glue themselves to the road outside the car park and thereby stopping people from illegally parking. Super glue, by the way, is synthesised from an organic compound using formaldehyde, which in turn is derived from crude oil. And that's the news for this Thursday. I'm Wallace Fogg. More 5AA News coming up at 8 o'clock, or as close as we can get.
John Blake, ladies and gentlemen.
Fantastic. We're still getting a lot of texts on the Automasters text line from people wanting to know if they're still in the running for the baby suite.
The baby, yes.
Now, Scott from Glenunga, he texted in on Automasters saying from memory he had nominated 2:02 a.m. tomorrow. Let's just hope, and I speak on behalf of everyone in South Australia here, Scott, with apologies to you, mate, that you do not win.
It's a long labour otherwise.
That's right. The three front runners, Steve from Adelaide, he said 10:20 a.m. Greg from West Croydon said 11:45, and Jane from Edwardstown said 4:17 p.m. this afternoon.
We are awaiting with bated breath, but in the meantime, we're going to blend something this week, David. You've got your Smeg blender sitting there.
We are. I've got the beautiful. This is a nice black, very sexy looking Smeg blender here. Beautiful design, as I always say. None of this trickery. Just got one big switch on and off. Does the trick. Very classic 50s sort of lines on the blender. A lot of talk, obviously, loose about the state of the river with the floods in the eastern states. Our thoughts with the people of Echuca today. And here in South Australia, downriver, people are bracing themselves for the impact of the floods. We thought, let's talk about the river at its best.
Classic holiday destination for South Aussies.
If you could blend the perfect day on the river, what would it be?
Now,
And we're talking anywhere on the river. We're talking Nildotty, we're talking Bow Hill, we're talking Purnong Landing, we're talking the mouth of the Murray at Goolwa.
That's right.
We're talking the northern stretch of the Riverland up, Barmera.
Loxton Way, where we're heading after 8 o'clock to the Loxton Hotel. But you can draw inspiration from anywhere, even if you've never been on a river holiday. What would you like to do there?
Can you pick other rivers?
No, but as in,
I was going to say, all right, I'm going with the Mississippi then.
Yeah, I'm going to the River Seine in Paris. See you later. If you've never been, you might be a classic camper or you might prefer beach holidays. But if you'd like to go on a river holiday, what would you want out of it? Throw it into the blender.
I would want two things. I would blend a good 3-hour kayak at Big Bend, which I just think is one of the most breathtaking parts of the river. And after that, a late booking, like a 1:30 p.m. booking at the back of the Pretoria Hotel to have a palmy and a couple of beers and then a nice bottle of wine.
Yeah, so you settle
with
in.
Other people. I'm not going to drink all that on my own, obviously.
No judgment here. No judgment. Worked with you for long enough. But call us with what you would put into the blender, 8223 0000 for your chance to win the Smeg blender. We'll get to more of your calls after 8 o'clock.
The 88 O'Connell exclusive townhouse release is now selling. Step up your lifestyle in these luxuriously crafted homes with private walk-up entry and Centenary Street access. Be part of this incredible development, just a short stroll to the city, Adelaide Oval, and the best of North Adelaide's culinary and retail shopping. All the benefits of the 88 O'Connell lifestyle, but in your own private sanctuary. These exclusive townhouses are now selling. Visit 88o'connell.com.
City Discount Tires.
Get saving this month at City Discount Tires. When you buy 3 Falcon Zeek ZE914 car tyres, you'll get the 4th tyre free. The perfect tyre for cost-saving, fuel efficiency and performance. City Discount Tires are a proud multi-tyre and wheel brand retailer offering great service at great prices. Visit citydiscounttires.com.au to find your nearest store. City Discount Tires. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tires.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly sunny, 24 today with the 8 o'clock news. I'm Mel Usher. Hackers are holding health insurer Medibank to ransom, threatening to sell the data of its most influential customers if a fee is not paid. Customer information includes sensitive health conditions and credit card details. The company is working quickly to verify the claims. A 25-year-old man has been arrested, accused of smashing several windows in the city overnight. Police were called to Rundle Street just before 3:30 after a man discovered his car window had been broken. 2 other cars also had their windows smashed, as well as a fast food restaurant. Patrols searched the area and located the suspect on Morford Street with a cut to his hand. A team of flood specialists will arrive in the Riverland today, with floodwaters interstate expected to flow through to SA from early December. It's predicted up to 120 gigalitres a day will flow down the Murray. SES Chief Chris Beattie says levees in the area will be inspected.
This is about identifying those areas of concern and shoring them up with appropriate additional fill with engineering support.
An independent review has found Australia's COVID-19 response failed the most vulnerable. Katie Fuller explains.
The Fault Lines report has found the federal and state governments failed to strike a balance between protecting public health and imposing long-term costs on education, mental health, jobs and the economy. It found school children and older Australians were the most disadvantaged. School closures have been deemed more drawn out than necessary and aged care residents considered not adequately protected. The review has been informed by 200 health experts, public servants, epidemiologists and more.
Heading into the warmer months, Australian scientists are extremely concerned about the potential for further outbreaks of Japanese encephalitis. So far this year, there have been 31 human cases of the virus and 6 deaths. Associate Professor Greg Devine says the heightened risk is driven in part by a third consecutive La Nina.
We expect it to re-emerge in the same areas which it did last year, which is really along the New South Wales-Victoria border, along the Murray River Valley, and parts of South Australia and in southeast Queensland.
The British Prime Minister's leadership has plunged into deeper turmoil after her Home Secretary quit. The turbulence over the last month has left Liz Truss under intense pressure to resign after not even 2 months in the top job. Ms Truss has been grilled by parliamentarians for the first time since being forced to scrap almost all of her flagship economic policies.
Economic credibility gone. And her supposed best friend, the former Chancellor, he's gone as well. They're all gone. So why is she still here?
Mr. Speaker, I am a fighter and not a quitter.
There's $100 million up for grabs in Powerball tonight. Matt Hart from The Lot says half of Australian adults are expected to have an entry.
The last time we had a $100 million draw, which was in September 2019, the peak of sales was about 8 minutes before the draws closed, and that's when 7,800 tickets were sold in a single minute.
More artists have been announced for Womad 2023. Among those joining the lineup will be Billy Bragg, Yusu and Dor, and the Proclaimers.
500 miles and I would walk 500 more if there be a man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at you.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
10-year warranty and 10-year capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
It's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you for that, Mel. Ross Lyon is reportedly set to be confirmed as St Kilda's coach by the end of the week. It's after he met the club's board yesterday following meetings with Saints officials on Monday and Tuesday. Australian backup wicketkeeper Josh Inglis, meantime, has been taken to hospital after a freak accident on a golf course just days before the Aussies begin their campaign. Meantime, South Australia will turn its attention to Friday's one-dayer against Tasmania after losing its Shield clash yesterday by 7 wickets. Let's go to a little bit of basketball now, and the Adelaide 36ers will fly to Sydney today ahead of their big match against the top-of-the-table Kings tomorrow night. Mitch McCarron telling Rowie it'll be a great test.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one. Good test for us to see where we're at, and both teams coming off wins, so yeah, it'll be a good clash.
2 games in the NBA to tip off the season yesterday, with last year's finalists Boston and Golden State recording wins. There's another 12 games on today, including Aussie pair Patty Mills and Ben Simmons' Brooklyn Nets. Let's go to a little bit of soccer now. A huge result for Manchester United in the English Premier League after beating Tottenham 2-0 at Old Trafford. Fred opened the scoring early in the second half before the home side doubled its advantage 20 minutes later.
And now Fernandez! Bruno Fernandes gloriously doubles Manchester United's lead.
Yeah, audio there thanks to Optus. Elsewhere, Liverpool had a 1-0 win against West Ham. Newcastle also 1-0 winners over Everton. Southampton also got a 1-0 result over Bournemouth, while Brentford and Chelsea drew 0-0. To netball, and a great result for the Australian Diamonds, who've hit back against New Zealand in the Constellation Cup with a 62-47 goal win in Melbourne. The Silver Ferns, though, still lead 2-1 with 1 game left to play. And the Major League Baseball playoffs are on again this morning. Currently, the Philadelphia Phillies lead the San Diego Padres 4-2 at the bottom of the second. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
It's a really good run-in on the roads today. All the majors around town accident and breakdown free. Shouldn't have any great hassle. Simply some works to keep in mind today. Got a lane out of action at Athol Park, Hanson Road near Athol Street. Slow going for works at Gilman today. The Port River Expressway near Hanson Road ramp. And we're also slow going at Ashford. Speeds are reduced South Road near Alexander Avenue. Look out for cameras. Lions Road, Windsor Gardens. And you'll find another one, Port Road, Adildinga. When you cover things up, they last longer. The same goes for you. Be SunSmart. Save your skin. Download the SunSmart app today and protect yourself in 5 ways. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast 24, mostly sunny for your Thursday, partly cloudy tomorrow 22, then a shower or 2 down to 21 on Saturday. Right now it's 16 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Introducing Nissan Future Value Business Plus, a new fleet finance solution for small to medium businesses offering competitive weekly repayments including the cost of scheduled servicing for the loan term. Available now on the Nissan Navara SL 4x4 Dual Cab Auto. Plan confidently for the road ahead with Nissan Future Value Business Plus. Visit nissan.com.au/business plus or contact your local Nissan dealer. Approved ABN registered small to medium fleet applicants of Nissan Financial Services. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
When you want the freshest and finest seafood for a tasty, healthy seafood meal, Do what I do. Go straight to the people who for 3 generations have served South Aussies with quality seafood every day. The excellent people at Samtas Seafoods. They're factory direct and open 7 days a week.
And where else can you get 4 kilos of premium seafood for just $60? Snap frozen kilo packs of your favourites, all at Samtas. Choose from Atlantic salmon portions, flathead fillets, snapper and barramundi fillets, crumbed garfish and prawns, and salt and pepper squid and more.
Plus, there's always an incredible range of premium, fresh South Australian seafood being processed daily. With factory direct prices, they've got things like fresh local Mulloway fillets and Port Broughton silver whiting fillets, both at $39.99 a kilo.
Kate Collins and Brendan Raglas. The face.
And barbecue-ready SA Spencer Gulf Raw King prawns, just $23.99 a kilo.
So load up with the 4 kilos for $60 deal and try some incredible fresh premium South Australian seafood. Get to Samtas Seafoods, open 7 days factory direct, Richmond Road in Richmond.
Kate Collins and Brendan Raglas. The faces you know and the team you can trust. 9 News, made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Good morning to you. It is 8:09 on 5AA Breakfast. Mostly sunny, top of 24 today, partly cloudy, 22 tomorrow, and potentially some rain on the weekend. 2 hours in, no baby news yet, David.
No,
for Will.
Still waiting.
But that's all right.
There's no rush.
There is no rush. We wish them all the best.
Got a lovely text here from Brenton in Fullerton. 48 years ago yesterday, I was doing what Will is doing today. While it was uncommon at the time, I was lucky to be present at the births of both our sons in the early 70s. It was a great shared experience with my wife. And by the way, Luce, you are a most able substitute for Will. You have a lovely voice and you are better to look at. And then Brenton says, sorry, I'm not sure if that's politically correct.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm going to say it anyway.
Well, if people are curious, you can jump on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream if you would like to have a look at my raging bed hair and all black attire today.
Raging bed hair, I like that.
Raging bed hair. One thing you'll note is I definitely am made for radio and not TV. But I'm a fan of the raging bed hair. Now, we started off just before the break with the SMEG. We want to blend the perfect river experience, all thanks to SMEG. Building or renovating, your first choice should be visiting the SMEG showroom at Debney Distributors. Taste the difference with SMEG. Quinton in Old Ranella, you got something to go in the blender?
Oh, absolutely. A couple hour drive up to Waikerie, settle into the Waikerie Caravan Park, have a good night's sleep, get up in the morning, cook some breakfast on the barbecue on the deck, looking over the river, then a walk along the cliff there, a beautiful part of the river. And then in the afternoon, zip on down to the Kudrow, I think it's Kudrow Winery, which I've been there a couple of times. Not great at the moment, but go down there and just sit there, have pizzas, looking over the winery and the river, and a bit of jazz music there. It's just a fantastic spot. And then just slowly meander back to Waikerie and snooze.
There you go.
That sounds like the perfect weekend right there.
Quinton's opting for the Waikerie Riverland trip. Go and see Joe at Cordo Vineyards. We spoke to Joe earlier on in the week, I believe, with the floods.
I checked out their website. Their sangria looks excellent. They do like 24 packs, and they don't cost you an arm and a leg, but they do all these different flavours. Like there's like a classic sangria, then there's one that's like a mojito style, like all these different sangrias.
Perfect for summer.
Yeah.
Hopefully they stay afloat. It's time for Breaking at 8.
Now, this is going to be quite a big story later today. It comes from the world of health, and it comes at a time where, obviously and rightly, there's a discussion around gender equity, affirmative action. It sort of mirrors the discussions that are happening in politics. But this also drifts into the more, divisive territory of representation of non-binary people, trans people. Now, it involves something that I would have thought should only ever be decided purely on the basis of who has come up with the best ideas, given how important the ideas are, because they go to our collective health and well-being. Now, the peak medical body in Australia is the when it comes to doling out money for grants for scientific investigations and so forth, is the National Health and Medical Research Council. And every year the NHMRC they issue what are called investigator grants that are provided to the highest performing researchers at all career stages. They give them consolidated funding for their salary, and they also give them what's described on the NHMRC's website as a significant research support package. Well, what the NHMRC has announced, and they haven't actually announced this publicly, they've only just done it, and it's going to get out today. They've just quietly sort of posted this on their website, is that they think that historically women have been underrepresented in these grants, but they also think that trans people have been underrepresented in these grants. So, forthwith, in future, 50% of all the grant money and all of the grants is going to be set aside for people who are women or people who are trans. Now, some might say this is great because it will address the historic underrepresentation of women and trans people in medical investigative work. Others might say, well, what happens if you've got a situation where just because of, you know, historic sort of trends with university entry and who does medicine and what have you, where of the 300 applications you get each year, 70% of them are from blokes, and they are actually the best ideas. I think instinctively a lot of people will respond that way. But I think it's more the trans part of it is the bit where I think rightly or wrongly the public might just start rolling their eyes and wondering whether we do have a history in this country of shunning the medical research of people who are transitioning out of some sense of hatefulness, or whether this is a bit of over-the-top PC posturing by the NHMRC that could actually see great ideas which could help protect our collective health and well-being being unexplored because they fall into the wrong side of the 50% category. So yeah, that'll. I know that the Australian are working on a story about that for tomorrow, but I've just been going through the website now, and it is certainly one of those signs of the times type yarns.
That's right, more to come, no doubt. Some more news this morning, continuing our discussion from another hacking scandal. It's Medibank in the firing line this time. Now, if you are with Medibank insurers, I'm sure they will be in touch with you as soon as they can. They have been hacked. They are sort of more targeting more prominent profiles, but the AFP are already working with Medibank. Andrew Muller, a cyber security expert from Iron Eyes, he was on Sunrise this morning. He had a reaction to Medibank's latest cyber hack.
Well, I think Medibank's response has been quite good. They've been quite rapid to come out with comms to the public to explain what's been happening. They've provided updates as well, but they haven't gone into an enormous amount of detail until they're certain as to what's going on. They've also pulled in the help and support of the ACSC and the Information Commissioner, which shows they're taking this threat very, very seriously, as well as seeking support from cybersecurity professionals within the industry.
You'd think the furor at Optus has sort of belled the cat with this for any other corporation that's now hit by these sorts of breaches, that they're going to be much more on the front foot than Optus seemed to be when it all broke about 3 weeks ago.
You'd think. Thankfully, I'm not with Medibank, nor do I have really a prominent profile, thankfully, but I did get affected.
Not yet, Lise.
Well,
you are the co-host of a major
don't speak too
breakfast
soon.
show.
But I was affected in the Optus hacking scandal.
Were you?
Yes. Not too badly, thankfully, but yeah, luckily I'm not with Medibank, so...
What, was it your driver's licence, passport?
My licence, yeah, just my
Seriously?
licence. Yeah, but it took a while to get the information. They took their sweet time in getting me that email. But that's all right, I was told. Sam also, bizarrely on the same day, texted me and said, hey, my licence has been affected. And I checked my emails instantly and said, oh my God, yeah, mine too.
Oh, crikey.
A fun fact about Sam and I, our birthdays are 1 day apart.
Seriously?
1 year and 1 day apart. How fun is that?
Well, what about that?
Now,
Probably
David,
why you get on so well.
That's right.
Sam's been promoted to producer this morning now that Lisa's rocketed up to co-host.
That's right.
Everyone's moved up a peg at 5AA.
Now, I'd hope that we all turn up tomorrow, even if one of us wins the $100 million jackpot Powerball tonight. It is only the fourth time a $100 million jackpot has been offered in the game. The lot, this jackpot's been going for 26 years. Fourth time it's been $100 million. Half of Australia's adult population is expected to buy a ticket for tonight. Now, as of 2021, there was 25,400,000 odd people in Australia. Half of that are adults, let's say, so half of them. David, maths is not my strong suit, neither is yours really. But
you want me to calculate
no.
the chances, do you?
No, I do not.
I can't even work out how much potting mix I need to buy to fill up a planter bed. I have to ring my dad for help with things like that, Luce.
Well, this conversation is now defunct. But either way, $100 million, I can't even say it properly. I can't wrap my head around. $100 million is on offer tonight.
Would you keep working, even though you're in your 20s and at the start of your career?
Yeah, I would, because I like having purpose every day. I've got to do something.
Right. Yeah.
It's all good to have a holiday, but at 27, if I won $100 million, I've got another, let's hopefully say 50 odd years to do something.
There's actually quite a few examples where winning that much money has, and we heard that yesterday with Sean Fuster, about the guy who didn't win it. He inherited all that money and immediately became a full-blown drug addict. But I know of people who've won staggering amounts of money, and it's actually ended up becoming, they've bought some crazy house, they've overextended themselves, they've had falling outs with their relatives who knew that they'd won the dough.
It's made their life worse off.
Yeah. Money can't buy your happiness.
Definitely cannot. Now
I'd happily win $100 million.
Oh, I'd take it if they'd like to hand it over.
I'd take that risk, yes, exactly.
Let's check traffic for your drive-in with summer just around the corner. Beat the rush. Get your air conditioning sorted now with Mannix.
Thanks, Lucy. At Wingfield, we've got a sandbag on the road. It's on the north-south motorway. The middle lane is blocked. Take it easy if you're heading around there. Got a lane closed at Eastwood, slowing things up. That's Glen Osmond Road near Davey Street. We're getting busy now. South Road as you're driving through Mile End. And look out for cameras today. Grand Junction Road, Hope Valley. And you'll find another one, Victor Harbour Road at Old Nollunga. Is traffic holding you back from work? Not in the new Renault Traffic. It's the work van with big space for big things. Test drive the new Renault Traffic today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowie and Timmy.
The next generation of mighty South Aussies have spoken.
Equal rights for everyone.
Oceans without junk in them.
No nasty chemicals in things.
Search Sustainable 7 to hear more about what the future's got in store for Foodland.
Betty's never been on it. Betty's not so much as walked his bloody dog on it.
Rowie and Timmy G.
The state footy trains down there. Never seen a person on it.
4 p.m. weekdays on 5AA.
Is it possible to create tomorrow's car today? Hyundai believes so. Take the Tucson, Hyundai's mid-size SUV, featuring a revolutionary look, intuitive interior, advanced tech, and safety. You can enjoy all this in the Tucson Turbo Diesel all-wheel drive. Available now. Tomorrow's car is here today. Hyundai Tucson, in stock now. Visit Hyundai.com.au. Imagine that. Hyundai.
Mini Jumbuck, now in McLaren Vale, make Australia's favourite wool bedding products, proudly made right here in South Australia. Mini Jumbuck uses the finest Australian wool to handcraft their quilts, mattress toppers, pillows and more. If you're looking to improve your quality of sleep, start with a visit to Mini Jumbuck McLaren Vale today. You'll find some great specials in store, along with fabulous gift ideas for adults and children, or to spoil yourself. Mini Jumbuck McLaren Vale, open 7 days, Australian made, Australian owned. Luxuriously crafted from the ground up, this is your time to upgrade your lifestyle. Choose from a range of spacious 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartments, now selling at Adelaide's most sought-after address, 88 O'Connell. Your prestigious new apartment comes with so much to adore. A ground floor marketplace with bar and dining, pools and gymnasium, retail shopping on your doorstep, and just a short stroll to the city. Apartments are selling fast. Secure yours. Visit 88o'connell.com.
If you want to build a new home, something that reflects you and your lifestyle, then you really need to speak with Beechwood Homes. And just so you know, they won't try and sell you a house plan. In fact, there's no house plans until you tell them what you want. So go for it. Start thinking of all the possibilities or get in touch with Beechwood Homes for a few thought starters. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home. Google Beechwood Adelaide.
You know what? When I worked at Mitzi's back in the day, I was considered the fourth diamond. Funny that was true. What is true, though, is the opening of the new Mitsubishi showroom at Wayville. It's been a while in the making, but I tell you what, it is totally worth it. You won't see or experience anything like it in SA. It is groundbreaking. So if you're buying a Mitsubishi or you're getting your car serviced, please head to Wayville Mitsubishi. It's now open opposite the showground, driven by Australian Motors.
Kate Collins and Brenton Raglas, the faces you know and the team you can trust. 9 News, made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Good morning to you. Heading to Loxton shortly, but we are celebrating businesses on 5AA, and this week we are celebrating Zenith Caravans. They are our 5AA Business of the Week. Explore Australia this summer with a Zenith Caravan. Stock available immediately. Visit zenithcaravans.com.au. Now, we've been chatting heaps about the Riverland. The conversation has only kicked off this week, and it's going to be part of the chat for a long time, I feel, heading into summer. But in great news, the Loxton Hotel, the AHA Awards, the Hotel Industry Awards for Excellence, basically, were held early this week. Now, the Loxton Hotel, given all their stress for the River Murray at the moment, the Loxton Hotel absolutely cleaned up in the awards. They have claimed the best overall hotel in the country division, as well as the best bar presentation and experience in the country and the best redeveloped hotel in the country. Now, we've got Darren Morrison, the manager of the Loxton Hotel, on to congratulate him. Darren, welcome to 5AA Breakfast.
Good morning. Thanks very much.
Congratulations on all of your accolades, basically. You've been named best overall hotel in the country. Sell us on Loxton. What's the best thing about coming to Loxton, apart from your hotel?
Oh, there's plenty to do here. The whole region. There's lots of people come up and play golf. There's people that come up for the weekend. There's lots of good places up here to have a good meal and have a drink. So there's plenty to do.
It's a beautiful part of SA. I must admit, I haven't been to Loxton for a while, but knowing that you were coming on this morning, Darren, it's on my to-do list over the next 12 months. How's it all going in terms of the water levels at the moment, mate?
Yeah, the water's up. The river's up, but to be honest, the river looks fantastic. It's beautiful, and it's no threat to Loxton or any other towns just yet. But as it is at the minute, there's a few things. The caravan park has had to change a few things, but apart from that, it's still a pretty good time up here.
Darren, how long have you been in Loxton? Have you seen the River Murray ever at this point in your time in Loxton?
No, I've only been here 5 years, but I know 2016 it came up. It's probably, from what I understand, it's probably at the level now where it was in 2016.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was talking to some people in Mannum the other day who are old enough to remember the floods that they had in 1954 and certainly the ones in the 70s, which I know affected Loxton as well. But I guess the message for people like us in the city, though, Darren, is none of us should get this silly idea in our head that we're going to have some sort of like overnight tsunami. If the Murray keeps rising, we've got a good sort of 6 to 8 weeks before it could get up to any seriously high levels. Yeah, that's right. I think you see on the news, you'd feel like all the towns are actually underwater, and that's not the case. Bloody journos.
Yeah, I know. The media. But no, it's there's still quite a lot of caravans around. There's still people. The Rose Festival just been on in Renmark. There's things going on, and you absolutely wouldn't cancel your plans to come up to the Riverland. Not at the minute. I mean, we hear about the potentially what's coming, but at the moment there's no need to cancel anything.
Darren, from where the Loxton Hotel is, from my understanding, you're not quite on the banks, but you're not far off. Like, do you have a pretty good overlook onto the Murray?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. It's probably about 500 metres down the road. So yeah, we can see it. We're all pretty interested in it. So everyone's wandering down and having a look.
And mate, before we let you go, give yourself a bit of a plug here. If you're at the Loxton Hotel with the menu in front of you, what's your go-to item? Is it something from the grill? Is it a schnitty?
Our steaks are pretty special. The chefs do a pretty good Scotch fillet. But, again, our schnitzels, the amount of schnitzels we do too. So there's a bit of everything, bit of vegetarian options. There's lots to eat if you're hungry and snack on. So, yeah.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
Sounds really good.
No one cancel your plans. Everyone get to the Riverland. Darren Morrison,
exactly.
the manager from the Loxton Hotel, thank you so much for your time. And of course, we want to blend the perfect river holiday this weekend for the Smeg Blender.
We do.
So get calling 8223 0000. We'll get to your calls after the news.
Hello, I'm Lynn Andrews. At Lynn Andrews Real Estate, we've seen a lot of change in the property market over the last 50 years, but one thing remains constant: our passion to help people invest in the future, to build strong property portfolios in commercial and residential real estate. Our commitment to property investment over the years means we have a wealth of knowledge to share with you. We are here to help. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
Patience pays off, especially if you've been holding out for a great deal on a new Volkswagen. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen is now receiving truckloads of new Volkswagens. Yes, they're coming. And they're available at amazing prices. Remember Mawson Lakes Volkswagen for servicing too, with next day servicing and free loan cars. Get a great deal on Volkswagen now. Don't dilly-dally, dawdle or delay. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
Now, you'll know that like most South Aussies, I love my local Mitre 10, or as those of us in the know like to call it, the other hardware store. It's my one-stop shop for all my DIY jobs, whether it's something indoors that needs fixing or out in the garden. They'll have everything you need. In fact, I was only there a couple of Sundays ago buying roofing nails to put up a trellis. They've got everything. The staff are great too. They'll happily give you the best advice on the best products to help you get all these jobs done.
And we are finally getting some warmer days and sunshine, much to my happiness. So it really is time to get into your garden and outdoor areas and get them looking fabulous so that you can enjoy the longer days and barbecues with friends and family.
Whether it's a new mower, a whippersnipper, or just some fresh plants to brighten things up, maybe a new outdoor setting, whatever you need, for great prices on the right products along with helpful advice, choose the other hardware store. Mighty helpful, Mitre 10.
It's value the Australian way at Coles, with 10% off selected Coles MasterCard gift cards. Buy a $100 or $250 Coles MasterCard and receive 10% off the total cost. Offer ends Tuesday, in-store only, T's and C's apply.
Race into Tyre Power and take pole position during the Great Race Sale. The crew from Tyre Power is giving you the power to buy 3 and get 1 free on selected Kumho tyres. Put your pedal to the metal and visit tyrepower.com.au or call 13 21 91 during Tyre Power's Great Race Sale.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly sunny and 24 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Mel Usher. Extinction Rebellion protesters are out and about again this morning. They're at the National Wine Centre where there's a roundtable for oil and gas projects. The protesters are targeting Energy Minister Tom Koutsantonis. Police have arrested a man after he smashed several windows in the city overnight. Senior Constable Jen Cullinan says 3 cars and a fast food restaurant on Rundle Street were targeted.
Police searched the area and a short time later located a suspect on Morfett Street with a cut to his hand, and on searching the man, police located a folding knife. So a 25-year-old man from Adelaide has been arrested.
A damning independent review of Australia's response to the COVID pandemic has found it failed the most vulnerable. It's determined ill-conceived policies and excessive use of lockdowns failed to protect the old and abandoned, some of the nation's most disadvantaged communities. Review Chairman Professor Peter Shergold says there was overreach from federal and state governments.
Australian citizens and residents should have a moral and human right to enter their own country and move about it. Restrictions on movement should be proportionate to the risk. Lockdowns and border closures were a vital stopgap measure. Too often they became a stay-with measure.
Hackers are threatening to sell data from Medibank Private, including sensitive health conditions and credit card details, unless the insurer pays a ransom. The group claims to have stolen 200 gigabytes of sensitive information. The authenticity of the threat has not been verified, but Medibank says it's taking the threat seriously. 1.5 million homes and businesses across the country will have better access to the NBN by 2025. Michael Packey reports.
The previous coalition government had started to upgrade national broadband services, mainly driven by COVID-19, which saw more people learning and working from home. Labor says it will use Tuesday's budget to accelerate the NBN upgrades over the next 3 years. 1.5 million homes and businesses in outer suburbs and regional areas are expected to benefit. The federal government will contribute $2.4 billion towards the project, which is also expected to create thousands of jobs.
The southeast pylon of the Sydney Harbour Bridge is being turned into an exclusive restaurant. Celebrity chef Luke Mangan says he approached Bridge Climb with the idea during lockdown. It's taken 2 years to get it approved due to the red tape involved.
You've got the heritage of the amazing bridge, you've got transport and safety, which are all such important things. So we had to work very hard and very closely with them to get this across the line.
Half of all Australian adults are expected to have a ticket in tonight's $100 million Powerball draw. We haven't seen a draw this big since 2019. The Lot's Matt Hart says some numbers are luckier than others.
If we look back over the last 4 or 5 years, the most frequently drawn, and they have changed a little bit in recent draws, but the most frequently drawn numbers from the main barrel include 17, 9, 2 and 25. And the most frequently drawn from the Powerball barrel is the number 19.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi.
What's happening at the Saints, Tom Wren?
Well, it looks like it's all going to be confirmed this week, Mel, and that is that Ross Lyon will be the new coach of the football club. It's after he met the club's board yesterday following meetings with Saints officials on both Monday and Tuesday. To cricket now, Australian backup wicketkeeper Josh Inglis has been taken to hospital after a freak accident on a golf course just days before their T20 World Cup campaign begins. Meantime, a couple of T20 games on yesterday with Ireland 6-wicket winners against Scotland, while the West Indies took care of Zimbabwe by 31 runs. And the Redbacks will turn their attention to Friday's one-dayer against Tasmania after a disappointing 7-wicket loss to the Tigers in their Shield clash. To soccer now, Adelaide United coach Carl Viet isn't panicking despite the side's slow start to the A-League season. The Reds have only managed a draw and a loss in their opening 2 games, with Viet telling Rowie there's a couple of teams who've really impressed.
The first couple of weeks, Western Sydney have done exceptionally well, and then you've got Melbourne City as well. They've started very well. So they're most really the 2 front runners at the moment, but it's still early days.
The Reds take on Sydney FC in Sydney on Sunday. Meantime, in overseas action, Liverpool's EPL title hopes are starting to get back on track after the Reds secured all 3 points in a crucial 1-0 win at home against West Ham. Darwin Núñez opened the scoring for the Reds in the 22nd minute. The Hammers blowing a golden opportunity to level things up right on half-time with a penalty.
My guess is Goldie's right. You can't hit them the other way, but it's his favourite side. That's where he went, and that's where Alisson met it.
Yeah, great save. Audio thanks to Optus. And Manchester United's also had a big win, beating Tottenham 2-0. Newcastle got over Everton 1-0. Southampton also 1-0 winners against Bournemouth, while Chelsea was held to a 0-0 draw against Brentford. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Goldview Heights, look out for a major crash this morning. It's on Bayview Parade at McIntyre Road, causing delays. At Wingfield, you find a sandbag on the road there. It's on the north-south motorway. The middle lane is blocked. Take it easy if you're heading that way this morning. And look out for work slowing things up today at Brighton Road near Edward Street. Speeds at 40. Cameras today got those Kelly Road, Modbury, and you'll find another one, McLaren Flat Road at Kangarilla. The King's Spring Sale is in its final days. Up to 50% off selected Australian Design Award-winning furniture. Hurry, visit the King Keswick showroom today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast heading for a top of 24 today and mostly sunny, partly cloudy tomorrow 22, Saturday a shower or 2 21, Sunday showers and 20. Right now it's 18 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
G'day, it's Baz from Fleurieu Milk Company. Just wanted to let you know that we're doing all we can to get behind our local dairy farmers. They've been doing it tough for a long time. Remember, when you buy Fleurieu Milk Company products, you're making a difference. So keep up the good work, SA. Look for Fleurieu Milk Company products in your supermarket. 3 words make all the difference. Fleurieu Milk Company. South Australian first and proud of it.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
Good morning to you. 8:37 on your Thursday morning. Top of 24, mostly sunny today. 22 partly cloudy on Friday. 21 on Saturday with a shower or two. David was just bemusing how he's about to head to Aldinga.
Not today, tomorrow.
Sorry, this time in 24 hours plus some.
Very excited. Been a while since we've been down there, but got a hot date with a mate at the Wollonga Golf Course in the afternoon. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's it. Now, don't forget, you can call in for SMEG on 8223 0000 for your chance to win the Black SMEG blender. We want to hear what you're going to throw into the blender to mix up the perfect river experience.
I got the ball rolling with a morning's kayaking at Big Bend, followed by a nice leisurely 1 hour drive down the river to Mannum to have a afternoon out on the lawned area there on the riverbanks of the Pretoria Hotel, which hopefully won't be underwater in 8 weeks'
That's
time.
right. Ron on the Automasters text line has absolutely agreed with you. That description, well, heaven.
Yeah.
Absolute heaven. Now you're excited about Aldinga and the river. I'm excited about giraffes.
Oh, now, Luce, this is good because now you wield awesome power, not only being producer but also presenter. I love the fact that, you've hit the ground running by inserting an animal story straight into today's lineup.
Absolutely. Well, it wouldn't be my absolute pleasure to host a show without an animal story, and it is my great pleasure to introduce Mark Mills into the conversation. He's the senior keeper at Monato Safari Park of the ungulates. Is that right, Mark? Have I said that correctly?
Morning, guys. Yes, so ungulates are creatures that have got hooves. So back in the farm, it's animals like your cattle and horses and sheep. On site here, they're animals like your antelope and deer, your zebra, American bison, rhino, and of course your giraffe here as well. So ungulates is today's word of the day.
Ungulates, excellent. They're my new favourite animal. Last week it was Highland cows. This week it's giraffe calves. Now, Mark,
the ungulates too. Those Highland cows, again, they're hoofstock, so they're also part of the ungulate family. So it's a pretty broad classification, the whole hoofstock type genre. So
does that include you've got that excellent flock of bison there, the American bison at Monato, Mark? Are they ungulates as well?
They're hoofstock, and yes, indeed they are. So they're ruminants too. So all your cattle and giraffe and ruminants have the same overall type, physical structure. So the same four-chambered digestive system and the same two-toed hoofs. So your cattle back in the farm, your giraffe, antelope and deer and bison are all broadly classed the same, similar.
There you go.
So tell us about this baby giraffe. They must be the cutest things going around. Can they walk straight away, or do they sort of hobble around for a bit?
Yeah, the calf was born last Thursday, so pretty much 1 week old today. It was born to one of our new-time mums who called him Carly, a young female, and the birth was pretty smooth. So he birthed within, say, half an hour or so, quite quickly, and the calf was then on the ground, of course. Mum cleaned it up like they normally do, and the calf had, of course, stood after a few wobbly attempts and stuff like that. And being a first-time mum, we're pretty keen to see her, do good, good first-time mum things. So to therefore tend to the calf and do things like that. So she therefore, again, cleaned the calf up. The calf then fed from her, and she's been great ever since for the past week. It's the calf is as yet unsexed, of course. We have to see the calf pretty much do a wee to therefore determine the sex, where the wee comes out determines the sex roughly. But it's going great so far, a wonderful result for us, and it's doing really well, so we couldn't be happier.
Hey, this might be a really dumb question, Mark, but just thinking logistically, the birth of a baby giraffe, does the mum squat down? Because otherwise it's sort of lob and land on the ground.
Good question. So the mum's pretty much, walk around during her birth or her labour process, and the calves sort of come out of mum's rear end, front feet first, diving out, front feet first. So now giraffe, being quite tall, the calf can then drop to the ground in a bit of a shock, sort of a splashing mess there as well. So
what an entry to life.
Because they're so long, the calf's front legs therefore break the fall, and it just therefore sort of flops onto the ground. And it's a very sort of a loose, type structure as well. But of course, mum then just goes to check the calf out. She cleans it up, and the calf then looks around, stands after a few attempts, and normally they go here pretty well. So again, she's been a great mum first time now, Carly, and it's a good result again. So yeah.
Now, Mark, there have been 54 giraffe calves born at Monato since 1995, which I believe makes you guys the most successful giraffe breeding institution in Australasia. Is that correct? I'm assuming it would be. You seem to be popping out giraffes a lot this year.
I think that I think that's pretty much correct. So I think the key is just our space here. So because we of course have tons of space inside the area here. So giraffe herd that we have, they can therefore, say, interact and behave like herds do back in the wild. So, giraffe back in the wild, form big, loose, open, nomadic herds across the plains. So having tons of space here means our giraffe herd can therefore, again, interact and behave like they would do back in the wild and therefore breed very well here as well. So space is therefore the key here. We have loads of space at Monato here, and again, the giraffe herd therefore reflects the overall success. They breed very well, and they do very well indeed. So it's great. Hey,
Mark, just before we let you go, I was up at Monato about 3 months ago with a mate and our kids during the school holidays, and it was sensational, the redevelopment, that new dining area and gift shop are fantastic. The chimps are all fine now, aren't they? Because when we were there, they were crook, they had the flu. They had some sort of virus.
I think that they didn't have COVID, that chimpanzee troop. I think they had some other sort of a flu type, little virus type thing. So we had to therefore swing into action to put them in isolation because, of course, chimps are therefore prone to more disease and things as well. So, being more human-like in their overall, say, makeup. So, again, chimps aren't ungulates like my animals here that, of course, more of a primate. And I think that they've now been cleared and they're now back on display full-time and, again, doing great chimpanzee-type things. So, again, one of our more, corners of Monato here, a broad property here as well. And that new visitor centre build as well is, of course, a great addition to the park. It's a great expansion. And, of course, it's been great to see people coming through here and experiencing the whole park in general. So it's a great time to be up here. So
you didn't have to one of the keepers didn't have to drive them the tail and bend to get them COVID tested, did they? Imagine that, seeing a carload of chimps rocking up to get the old pipe cleaner up the snout.
I reckon that would be a rather noisy drive out to the bend with chimps in the car. They can be quite vocal and quite active as well. So I wouldn't be driving that car myself. I wouldn't think. Chimps can be rather active, so that would be rather hazardous, I'd say.
Absolutely. Good on you, Mark. Mark Mills, senior keeper at the excellent Monato Zoo.
Ungulate, my new favourite word of the day.
Ungulate. That's a great word. Like undulate, only with a G.
But talking about hooved animals, so even better.
Handy one for Scrabble.
Ungulate.
Ungulat.
Ungulate.
So if you'd need someone else's E or something else on the board, but it's one of those words that you look at all those letters together and it doesn't obviously spell any word.
That's it.
Unless you've got ungulate in your back pocket.
That's it.
Then you got your 50-word bonus right there, Lise.
One word we can spell is SMEG. Building or renovating, your first choice should be visiting the SMEG showroom at Debney Distributors. Taste the difference with SMEG. Now we're blending our perfect weekend up the river. Matt in Victor Harbour, you got something for the blender?
Yeah, guys. Just picture this: driving up in the houseboat, docking it out in front of the Wilkerdine Brewing Company, and just past Renmark, and just a short little walk up the stairway up the bank, and you got yourself some cold craft beers coming from the Wilkerdine Brew Company. Yeah, that Woolshed Brewing Company there is absolutely beautiful. We've been there, wedge-tailed eagles, picking fish out of the water and everything. Wow. It's just the most serene spot on the Murray, I believe.
There we go. Craft beers from the Wilkerdine. Andrew Rosedale, you've got something for the blender?
Yeah, I did. Who was the previous caller? Was that Matthew?
That was Matthew.
Yeah, that was Matt.
Yeah, just stole my thunder there. I was going to say I wanted a houseboat with a nice keg of Woolshed Brewery.
That's all right. We'll give you a houseboat, Andrew, with additions.
You guys have probably met each other without even realising it, mate.
Yeah, possibly.
Hey, that's excellent.
Thank you, Andrew. Now, Geraldine in Salisbury, you've got something for the Smeg River trip?
Yes, David and Lucy. Sitting in the middle of the Murray River on a rowboat with a special guest, having fish cakes, homemade fish cakes, for lunch with a salad, the fish caught from the river, and reminding the special guest that in 2007 he said we wouldn't have enough rain to fill our dams and rivers, and now the rivers are overflowing and so are the dams. That would be Tim Flannery.
I was going to say, Geraldine, I thought that was a Tim Flannery reference. Hey, out of interest, what sort of fish cakes are you making? Are you going sort of Thai-style fish cakes or more your traditional
just
English ones?
Yeah, just the ordinary ones.
Oh, what sort of fish are you going to use?
Oh, only the best, whiting.
Oh, yeah, yum. It sounds good.
Can't go too far without a food conversation, can we? Thank you, Geraldine.
You could do it with a freshwater fish.
Yeah. I mean, I personally couldn't. I'm not much of a chef, but that's your wheelhouse.
I tell you what, I mean, carp, we hate the damn things.
But
in
could you make
countries,
decent fish cakes with carp?
I reckon you could make, if you had a heavily flavoured fish cake, like a Thai fish cake with the garlic and the chilli and the ginger and the spring onion, I reckon you could pull it off, and I actually think most people would know the difference.
Interesting.
They were introduced for that reason.
Text us.
Because the early settlers thought, these will be good. People love eating carp in Europe.
Have you had a carp fish cake? Text us. Hey, Dave from Alberton. Happy birthday to you, Dave. Just texted in. What pub are we meeting at to wet the baby's head? Dave.
And happy birthday to you too,
birthday.
Dave.
We still, there's been no news on Will's baby. I would like to point out that my nearest to the pin was actually for today, but it was 9 tonight.
Oh, mate.
So I'm not going to win the $250 Foodland voucher, but I was 9:15 tonight, I think I was.
So Steve from Adelaide, he's in the box seat at the moment with 10:20 a.m.
Oh,
then
Steve.
Greg West Croydon 11:45. And
That
then
could be a
Jane
battle.
from Edwardstown 4:17.
A real battle.
A ding-dong tussle. And, of course, the $250 Foodland voucher
It's
on the line.
It's just pure chance. Pure chance. Let's get some fuel information while we await the baby news. Download the free MyRAA app today to find the cheapest fuel in an instant. At the X-Convenience on Main North Road in Jeps Cross, down to $1.72. At the X-Convenience on Edmund Avenue in Unley, it's $1.69.9. And at the Ampol in North Adelaide, $1.73. I have noticed a few servos have jumped from $1.99 down to $1.73-ish. So some are jumping immediately down, but probably still fill up while you're at the cheaper end. But for the cheapest diesel, the Ampol on Bridge Road in Para Hills is at $2.
That's by
your
diesel
cheapest.
standards. That's
not bad.
That's the cheapest I've heard diesel for a while. It's been $2.20 for most of the last week.
Absolutely. Now let's check traffic with summer just around the corner. Beat the rush. Get your air conditioning sorted now with Mannix.
Thanks, Lucy. At Golfview Heights, we've got a major crash at the moment. Bayview Parade at McIntyre Road. Heavy delays there at the moment. At Wingfield, got a sandbag on the road. That's on the north-south motorway. Middle lane blocked. Avoid that if you can today. And look out for a lane closed and slowing things up at Angle Park at South Road near Katina Streets. Cameras, Kelly Road, Modbury and Main Road at Wollonga. Experience everything from F1 cars, Porsches, rally cars and more at the Bend Auto Fest this weekend at the Bend. Tickets on sale now at thebend.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
How does it work then?
Everyday low prices, any time of year. Trust the mighty South Aussies. Great food lives here. Foodland, the mighty South Aussies, Foodland.
You're watching the 5AA live stream, thanks to Foodland.
Thousands of stunning roses at the Adelaide International Rose and Garden Expo. Enjoy spectacular rose blooms, floral and plant displays, expert gardening advice, garden products galore, free activities for the kids and more. Gather your fellow garden lovers for the Adelaide International Rose and Garden Expo. Adelaide Convention Centre, October 28 to 30. Tickets are $20 with children under 14 free. Book at roseexpo.au. That's roseexpo.au.
Get saving this month at City Discount Tyres. When you buy 3 Falcon Zeeks ZE914 car tyres, you get the 4th tyre free. The perfect tyre for cost-saving fuel efficiency and performance.
Now, the Falcon Zeeks has got a bunch of great features. It's got asymmetric tread pattern with 4 straight and wide circumferential grooves. What does that mean? Well, it means it improves hydroplane resistance. Plus, high rigidity rib construction provides good wet and dry braking stability.
City Discount Tyres are a proud multi-tyre and wheel brand retailer offering great service at great prices. So when you buy 3 Falcon Zeeks car tyres, you'll get the 4th tyre for free. The perfect tyre for cost-saving fuel efficiency and performance.
Visit citydiscounttyres.com.au to find your nearest store. City Discount Tyres, driven by value.
Building amazing homes is important to Beechwood Homes, and so is the environment. So when you build with Beechwood, you're building a better environment for our kids and grandkids. Here's why. Around 70% of scrap materials from every Beechwood home is recycled. Bricks, rubble, timber, gyprock and steel, none of it goes to landfill. It's all sorted and recycled. So life really is good. It's even better in a Beechwood home. Google Beechwood Adelaide today for a better future for all of us.
Kate Collins and Brendan Raglas, the faces you know and the team you can trust. 9 News, made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
8:51 on your Thursday morning. We've been asking all day really about the Riverland people's thoughts, both here and in Victoria, but it is the theme of our Smeg blender today. What would you blend for the perfect river experience? Rob in Somerton Park, good morning.
Good morning. My river experience, because I don't own a boat, so I'm going to go to the river with a picnic, and I'm going to get on one of those ferries and go back and forward the entire day, playing on the radio system, Don't Pay the Ferryman.
Rob, the real question is, what's your number one picnic item or food? What do you always take on a picnic?
Cider.
Cider?
Cider?
What about a Scotch egg, Rob?
I make them at home, actually.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Can I ask you, when you make a Scotch egg, do you use sausage meat to encase it?
Yeah, sausage meat, yeah.
There you go.
And you roll it in like an oatmeal type thing, don't you?
And some really smallly diced onion in it, and I actually put some paprika in it too.
How good are Scotch eggs?
Scotch egg on a picnic on the Riverland. There you go.
Perfect picnic food.
That's right.
With a bit of chutney.
Thanks, Rob. We got time for one more. Steve in South Plimpton, good morning.
Morning, guys. How you going?
Good, thanks,
We're
Steve.
good, thank you.
You can't go to the Riverland without stopping at Cordo's Vineyard for their wood-fire pizzas and their sangria. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
All this chat about food. Now I'm starving. Thank you, Steve.
I'm surprised, though, no one has mentioned the greatest culinary contribution that the Murraylands has made to global cuisine.
Go ahead.
Have you ever eaten a savoury slice, Luce?
As in, like, with vegetables and bacon and cheese and stuff?
No.
Therefore, no.
So, a savoury slice, it's claimed by a lot of towns on the Murray. Madam thinks they've got a dog in the fight when it comes to the savoury slice, but Murray Bridge, I think we can concede. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks. Murray Bridge can lay claim to inventing the sandwich slice. McHugh's Bakery does a good one. So it's 2 sheets of puff pastry that are then sandwiched together with meat pie filling in the middle, and then it's topped with cheese and bacon bits, and then it's baked.
I've had that, but the pasty slice version. So it's got pasty filling.
The savoury slice is such an institution on the Murray that at one of the bakeries there, it might have been McHugh's, I bought a savoury slice keyring. A little plastic savoury slice on it.
But that's how you know it's good.
Classy.
When you buy the keyring. We will get to our Smeg winners shortly. Now, this year, of course, the FIVEAA All-Star Golf Day does not feature myself nor Will, who's about to be a dad at some point. We're not sure when, but David, you will be there thanks to Adelaide Exposed Concrete. But in good news, the general public can come along and they have the chance to win to get along to the Glenelg Golf Club on Monday the 31st. Just head to 5AA.com.au, register your details. We will be calling someone on Friday to see who you're playing with in your team, David.
Sensational. Yeah, they're having like a draw, I think.
Yeah. There's a full draw, but spots are filling fast, so book your group now at 5AA.com.au. That's thanks to the Adelaide Exposed Concrete for helping us out with the 5AA All-Star Golf Day.
Hey, thanks also to the person who rang in and corrected me. I said 54 floods. I meant 56. I should have said 56. I said 54. So thanks for making the effort to ring in to straighten me up on that one.
The listeners' brain trust, we always welcome it. Now let's head to Behind Closed Doors, which no doubt one day in the next fortnight I will be a feature of. But today I believe we have somebody else. Thanks to Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, interstate freight distribution, warehousing and local Adelaide couriers. Call Aussie Fast 13 13 64.
And when we get behind closed
13.95, Adelaide's 5AA. This is Jade Robran.
And welcome along to the program. Wowzers, it's great to have you with us. Well, more climate protests happening today, and I'll be talking to someone from Extinction Rebellion pretty soon. Extinction Rebellion, I think that means they're against standing up, which is probably why they sit down on the road a lot. Anyway, I'll be talking to a representative from Extinction Rebellion, and it will be interesting, won't it, to see how long I can go before someone comes running in to tell me I'm using the wrong word. So, let's talk now to Annabelle Snodgrass from Extinction Rebellion. Welcome to Afternoons.
Hello, yes, it's not extension, it's...
So what are you hoping to achieve with these protests? Well, we want a complete halting of all fossil fuel mining within the next 10 years.
So what about the economy?
We don't care about the economy.
But what happens if the lights go out?
We don't care if the lights go out.
Do you know that superglue is a petrochemical product?
Yes, we don't care.
Why are you so passionate about climate change?
Because it's an emergency and we have to start listening to the scientists and take drastic action.
So then why don't you listen to the 500 credentialed scientists who wrote to the United Nations and told them there is no climate emergency?
Because we only listen to the scientists who agree with us.
Right, well thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
So there we are, Annabelle Snodgrass from Extension Rebellion, and they will be protesting at the Conviction Centre and also on a tram running from the Bubonic Gardens.
It's been a week, hasn't it? It's been a week. Now we've just got time for our Smeg winner, Pembo. What have you got?
We are going to give it to Quentin from Ranella for his evocative description of wakery. Thanks to everybody who entered. Just very quickly, thanks to Amanda who texted in, who's on her vineyard on Victor Harbour Road at the moment, saying there's an accident heading to the city between McLaren Vale and the main South Road turn-off. Doesn't look like anyone's hurt, but there's a whole stack of cars involved and traffic's at a standstill, so keep your wits about if you're down there.
That's right. Be safe heading into your journeys on a Thursday. Now, hopefully tomorrow we can share some good news from Will. Would you be happy enough to have me back tomorrow, David?
I would, Luce. I've loved every minute of today's show. It's been terrific, and big thanks to the listeners who've been texting in.
Yes, thank you for your patience.
A whole stack of texts and messages, and friends of mine too, family, have been listening, Luce, saying you're doing a cracking job, mate. So
it's my
pleasure working with you.
first ever day on air, so you know what? I won't give myself a rating, but I've enjoyed it.
I'll give you a 10. I think it's been superb.
No, set the bar lower, please, David.
All right,
But
6.5.
never fear. We'll be back tomorrow morning from 6. Leon Viner up after the 9 o'clock news.
Callum here for Edwardstown Mazda. We get it. Nobody likes to wait, especially for a new Mazda SUV. So here's some good news for